Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to the WotC Obsession live stream, chat, and discussion. Tonight we are talking about the University of Idaho murders in Moscow, Idaho, that happened about 2 weeks ago. This was a horrific event in which 4 young adults, ages 20 and 21, 2 or 20 and 2 or 21, were horrifically slain in a knife stabbing. It's just like when I'm saying it, it's like, oh my God, we talk about these things. But what's important now, guys, is that the investigation isn't shaping up the way we all wanted to see it shape up, which would be to see that the investigators had all their ducks in a row. They were dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's, and throw whatever analogy you want at me. They were doing all of those things that we know make for an efficient and effective investigation, or an efficient and effective everything. So when I first heard about this case personally, it was one of those cases. I think I've said this. I can think about one other time I said this. Watching the video, hearing about it, reading about it, literally made me physically ill. I had such a strong reaction to it. I'm sure many of you can understand, and it's an extremely upsetting set of circumstances, right? So I just thought, no, well, I don't have to talk about everything on this channel. Maybe we just won't even go there. I hope and I pray that this investigation will move quickly and it will be successful in finding the person or persons who murdered those 4 beautiful people. But that's not happening. And we'll talk about why that's not happening, the concerns I have. I'll tell you all about them. I'd love to hear the concerns you guys have, and, a whole lot more. So just going to play this little extended intro here, and then we'll get started chatting it up. I'm glad you guys are all here. Let's see. Backgrounds aren't visible in the solo layout. You can crop. What? Okay, I can do it another way, though. It's not a big deal. How about that one? How about that one? No. Right? No. No. Okay, just one second. I got to bring a video into the stream. I tried to do it the quick way, but I don't think it worked. Okay. So I hope everyone's doing good. What is it today? Tuesday, early in the week. Oh, let me just tell you this while I'm getting this video ready for you guys. I'm going to start I was doing regular Friday live streams for a while. And then just some things came up and I got thrown a little bit off balance with that. But I'm going to start doing live stream every Friday night at 9 or 9:30 p.m. And sometimes we'll be covering the Watts case. Sometimes we'll be covering the University of Idaho 4 case, or any number of other cases. So everybody, I know you're excited. I mean, what else would you want to do with your Friday nights? So go get out your little day planner or your little digital gizmo that I don't use. I like to use a physical day planner with paper in it, and write it down. 9:00 every Friday. What's the Obsession live stream and chat with all of my true crime buddies. All right, here we go. And then I'll also probably do another 1 or 2 during the week. But Friday nights, I just want to make it a regular thing, like something we can all look forward to. Okay.
Students found each had multiple stab wounds. Some had defensive wounds, showing they fought with the attacker, and there was no sexual assault. County Coroner Kathy Mabbutt is describing the murders as personal.
Oh, you know what? That was one that stopped playing early on. Hold up. Wait a minute here. Alrighty. So stop that. Actually, I can close that. Whoops. Okay.
Maybe I didn't have a treatment.
It's right here.
And then what was the mac?
Don't forget to remove the
The
spoon.
The
carbonara.
carbonara mac of the week.
Here, I'll grab it for you.
Excellent. And then click see rewards.
Enjoy.
And it looks like you not quite have enough points yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's good.
then you should-
$10.
Oh, this is really mean. Oh. There you go.
Four students found each had multiple stab wounds. Some had defensive wounds, showing they fought with the attacker, and there was no sexual assault. County Coroner Kathy Mabbutt is describing the murders as personal.
Oops. Okay. Let's. Oh, this we want to be watching. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, hold it. My bad, multitasker. Let me just get back into StreamYard here. All right. Take that down. And where's my background? I don't know where it is. Okay, so anyway, so welcome. Hey, Joan Bradley, how are you doing, honey? Thanks for checking on me last night. Wonderful moderator, Molson Man. Justice A3C, I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Gregory Worth, I love your comments, reading them. They're always so insightful and awesome. Hi, Mia, how are you doing? Allegedly, I got to text you. Jennifer Bradford, welcome. It's great to see you. And Aunt Sally, Caleb, Lee, Mia, Utter Nutter, woo! Jody is cool. Hey guys, Cecile, oh my gosh, Cecile's here. This is so great. Hi, Butterfly McCoy, how are you? Everybody, Butterfly McCoy has this wonderful channel. I was listening to your music, Butterfly McCoy, the other day while I was doing stuff around the house, like all day long. You're so talented. It's amazing. I'm just super impressed with you. So everybody be on the lookout for that. She made a video about the true crime community, actually. Would you mind if I showed that video, Butterfly McCoy? It's only a few minutes long. It's about the Kylie Rodney case. and it was amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, Cecile, it's so wonderful to see you. Oh. So let's see. Okay. So the University of Idaho, also known as the Idaho 4 slayings. I think most of you who are here in chat right now know the premise of this horrific crime. So these students were all out separately. We had, two girls, Kaylee and Maddie, who had been best friends since middle school, and then Ethan and Xana, they were dating. And they came back home from a night of being out in their respective locations. Maddie and Kaylee went to a bar. Xana and Ethan went to a frat party, and then we're really not sure exactly where they went. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play you the video that is the interview of Kaylee's mom and sister. It's the one where it was the only interview that they did with media together. Kaylee's mother and sister, 21-year-old Kaylee. And they talk about how they established Olivia is her name, the sister. How Olivia really, she's a true crime sleuther, just like me, just like you and the rest of us. And so is Kaylee. So they speak our language, So she's going to talk about how she compiled all of the information that was needed to put together a really nice, neat, tight little timeline. She did an amazing job with it. So let me just grab that for you guys. And yeah, gosh, she's good. She's real good. Olivia, Kaylee's sister, is just, I don't know if you guys have watched the interviews with her or have heard her speak about her sister and all the work she's doing for her right now. She's like an amazing person. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I think this is it. Let's try her out. Okay, yeah, this is the one we want to be seeing. All right, let me bring it into the stream. Sorry about this fumblingness with it. I thought I had it set up all nice and neat for you guys, but either I'm just not using StreamYard right or StreamYard's just stubborn. I think it's the latter. So there's Kaylee, beautiful Kaylee. And she and Matt, well, all the girls were absolutely stunningly beautiful. Just the archetypal, beautiful, young college co-ed who likes to party and, but they also apparently, by all accounts, from anybody who spoke of any of the murder victims, they were just really good people. They're really nice people.
Welcome back to What's the Obsession, covering the University of Idaho quadruple murder to help ensure that complete justice is found for the 4 victims of the horrific crime and their families. This is an excerpt of an interview with Kaylee Goncalves' mother and her sister, Olivia. Now, Olivia worked up a timeline of her own, as you're going to hear her talking about. This excerpt is all about her mother and sister talking about the timeline. So I really just want to get this information out there on as large of a scale as possible. I think the 15 minutes that is the discrepancy between law enforcement's timeline and Kaylee's sister's timeline could be a really big deal, guys. This could determine whether or not a person who might actually have some critical information that they don't know that they have, it could determine if they pay attention, if they tune in, if they contact law enforcement, if they mention something that's just sitting with them a little strangely, but they're like, it's probably not a big deal. If an accurate timeline is presented to the public, then people can have an understanding about what they may have witnessed, who they may have run into, what they may have seen that they're not consciously aware of. I think Kaylee's sister Olivia is freaking awesome. Just listen to her talking here. She really nailed this timeline. And in fact, I updated my own timeline to reflect Olivia's timeline because the information that she presented to.
Now, I just want to say I'm breaking into this, uploaded video that I'm playing for you so we can talk about the information together. I do want to say that just a couple of days ago, I don't know what the exact date was. It was 2 or 3 or 4 days ago, I believe. Law enforcement actually updated their timeline to reflect exactly what Kaylee's sister, Olivia, was putting out there to the world. So that's a really good thing that they did that. A lot of times, as you know, even when law enforcement is wrong, their giant blue egos get in the way and they just can't say, hey man, we're humans. This is like, there's so much going on here. It's a really complicated crime. And oh, by the way, we are humans. And my God, what they had to deal with, even in processing this crime, it's like horrible. And I think it should be okay for law enforcement to say, you know what, I made a mistake. And the right thing to do is to say, hey man, I made a mistake. I'm going to correct it. But that information you thought was a fact, it's actually not. It's a little squishy. It's like fiction. So this is the real fact now. But anyway, they rarely do that. But I was happy to see that in this instance, law enforcement did update their timeline to reflect reality. Imagine that.
Support timeline is completely solid.
First off, the map that just came out from police, it gives a little bit of a timeline of where they may have been that night. Does that map mesh up with the timeline that you?
So this is the interview
I'd
excerpt
say it's very
I was
close.
speaking
I'd
about.
say if you have any closer details to kind of hone in, 145 could be very vague. Maybe it's closer to 150. Let us know if you have anything concrete, because right now concrete's what we can go off of.
In terms of the details, you said it's close.
Mm-hmm.
Does that frustrate you that it's close?
I do, but right now we're still trusting authorities that, it's not going to be 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here that's breaking this. But yeah, I implore everyone, if they know something different, bring it to the police, because if they want to tighten up that timeline, we stand with that.
It seems like there's this very big gap when it comes to Ethan and Xana. Do you know where they might have been?
I don't, unfortunately. I know nothing about them.
We have no idea where they were, but we do have a pretty tight timeline on Kaylee and Maddie, and it is close to what they are posting, but it is a difference, and that difference actually could be huge. I mean, it could be, it could not be, but 145, 159. So there is, and we have corroborated with my phone records, Kaylee's phone records, the driver that was driving them around.
Yeah, so you
really
have
concrete.
You have pulled video seeing the Uber driver dropping them off.
Yes.
You've checked your phone records.
Yes.
Timestamps what
Yes.
time they got home.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what police.
45.
Kaylee and Maddie were picked up from their home at 1122 King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylee called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49, got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56.
Is it frustrating that your timeline is based on timestamps from videos and phone records, and their timeline doesn't exactly match yours?
I just feel like there's a reason they're just putting it out, the estimate. I don't know, because they do have that information from us, and they've asked us where we have gotten that information, and we have concrete backing. She put it together.
It could be conflicting stories. We just don't know. This is the information
And
that
I-
I stand behind.
I think that when they say 1:45, I think they're kind of referring to the whole group arriving approximately 1:45. I believe that maybe Ethan and Zamet, and I don't know, may have gotten home around that time.
All right, I just want to pause here again and say I am just so impressed. There are some things that are just really standing out and speaking loudly in this case, and one of them is how kind and also just, sharp and connected to reality and connected to their sister, daughter Kaylee. These people were. This is, in my opinion, a really extraordinary family. They have all throughout any of their videos, whether it's the brother or Olivia or the mom or the dad, they are so respectful and kind and compassionate about everyone, including law enforcement, when some really kind of crazy things have been done to them, I'm going to say, by law enforcement. Now, like in current time, like as of today, I'm going to play the most recent interview with Callie's dad shortly after this from this morning. You can see and you can sense how they are growing increasingly agitated with the whole situation, and how could they not? I've been in absolute awe of their patience. I get it, guys. If you got to feel something, you go ahead, you feel what you need to feel about law enforcement.
And then the girls, obviously 1:59-ish is shortly after. So they're just kind of grouping that the group arrived home around 1:45-ish. But they were not together. And we don't know anything about Ethan and Dana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, that your sister was making calls, right? She was making calls as late as almost 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
We pulled my cell phone.
on Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
No.
No, not at all. Kaylee had no shame in kind of power calling. So it fits Kaylee.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And we know who she was calling. And this person is, and this person was asleep, unfortunately, was not getting the calls.
And so, of course, here they are talking about Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack. And I'll bring up some pictures and we'll tell stories about him in just a moment. Now, even some of you in chat here, I've been reading your comments or seeing on your channels or whatever the situation may be, that whereas at first, I personally didn't see a lot of people questioning if Jack, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, was a real, like, legit suspect in this horrific crime or not. But people now, I personally noticed in the past few days, are starting to say, hey, you know what? Anywhere from, hey, you know what? I think we really have to take a look at Jack to, I've seen a couple videos today. I was watching them a little on and off just to kind of catch the range of where people are at and their theories about this case. And I saw a couple videos that I was like, whoa. One of them, the title literally was like, basically, Jack had to be the murderer. There's no other way. And they were talking about this Jack, because there's another Jack too. We'll get to all that, I promise. Let me finish playing this. Oh, by the way, what do you guys think of Jack? If you want to leave a comment, that would be amazing. Do you think that Jack, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, should be investigated as a serious suspect in this case? If, of course, they have, some kind of speck of evidence to lead them in the direction, the investigators I'm talking about? Let us know in chat.
It was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple times, but no, it was not. We do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylee was in imminent danger, her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person. Yeah,
And that was
so
around 2.
Yes. So at that time, we
Started
believe
around 2:30.
Yeah, we believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what the last call.
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Short. Yeah, that's right. 2:50 something.
2:52. For both of them.
Yeah.
I just love her. At the very end, she's like, right to 2:50 something. It's around 3 o'clock at 2:50 something, and she's like at 2:52. She's just she's very sure-footed, and she is gonna get this right for her sister. I have so much. Oh wait, this video wasn't done. I'm sorry. I have so much admiration for Olivia. Let me just play the rest of it.
looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what, the last call?
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Sure, yeah, that's right, 2:50 something.
2:52.
For both of, yeah.
Wow, guys, what do you think? Please leave a comment letting us know what you think. We want to know what you think. I'm going to
Yes,
tell you
we
what I
do.
think. I think that Kaylee's sister, Olivia, is freaking badass. She's amazing. If and when justice is served for these poor victims and their families, I have a feeling it's going to have a lot to do with what Olivia has done to make the timeline accurate.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Sorry, just getting water. Yeah,
Perspective on this.
Mm.
Let's bring in
So I don't want to go there yet. Hold it. Let me just hold this down. So yeah, so I want to check out chat here for a moment and see what you guys are thinking. Yeah, I've done a couple videos about the University of Idaho murders, but this is the first live stream and we're going to stay with it until they finally charge someone with these murders, because this is like that's got to happen. I mean, it's the only option right now, clearly. So they can't screw this up. I'm just so like I'm literally losing sleep over this. I'm very, very concerned about the way things are going. So let's see what you guys have to say. Whoops. I'm not going to play you yet. Right. All right. 9:52. Ooh, I got to go turn. I'm really behind here. Oh God. Oh my God. I forgot. Yeah. People with kids in college. Joan said, to Jennifer Bradford, are you scared? Like, I am having kids in college and I have kids in fraternities. I'm going nuts. Yeah, Joan, I was thinking about you the other day, actually, about this exactly. I meant to send you a text. I was thinking about you and praying for you and your kids. I was telling my son that, if he was a student at University of Idaho after Thanksgiving, he would not be going back. I don't care if they were offering virtual classes or if that was going to mean that he was going to, fail out of his program. Like, I don't think I could have sent him back. And then I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, well, I would send my kid back. And we totally disagreed on this issue. And quite honestly, this is rare for me to say. I really couldn't even see where she was coming from. I felt that strongly on it, Oh my God. Caleb Lee says, now this was a long time ago. It was like 10 minutes ago when you said this. I was just trying to scroll up to current time, but I noticed this because I like when she says, we stand with that. I like how she says that. So Caleb Lee says, we stand with that. And that's a quote from Olivia. Statement kind of bothers me. I'd love to hear why that bothers you. Oh, if anyone would like to come up on panel, you're welcome to come up on panel. Always love people on panel. You guys are wonderful to talk to. So I will put that link in chat. You can just come on up. Keep you on stage. If not like the looks of you, I'll just kick you out. I actually don't think I've ever done that. I should have perhaps sometimes. Definitely no one in chat here now, of course, but I have not. Oh boy. Hi Carrie, how are you doing? I know some other people came in. Welcome. Esther, I saw you coming in. Welcome. Nice to see you. It's Carrie Koo. I like that. Awesome. And anyone else who came in, welcome. Hi, Erin on the side of caution. How are you doing? Okay, I'm scrolling my way down to current times. Woo! Here we go. Trying to also just see if anyone else came in. Hi, Michelle G. How are you doing? Oh, Michelle G says Jack D looks like Bambi. Okay, I just let's address this since it's a thing, since it just came up, since Michelle G just went there. Do you guys? I notice, and I'm not saying this for the sake of just like picking on someone or whatever, because it's not what I'm doing. I think that factors like this, when we are talking about an extremely violent and personal murder, these kind of factors, I think, could become relevant. I think there is not balance between Kaylee and Jack, regarding their physical attractiveness. She is much more physically attractive, in my opinion, than Jack is. I wonder, that's got to be a thing, right? I mean, like, I don't know. Here, I'll show you this picture here. This actually isn't a bad picture. I'm just framing a picture here. I'm going to bring into stream. There we go. Okay, so this has, wait, I'm going to show you one that has like 2 pictures in it. So you could get two views of Jack. All right. And God, I mean, of course, I hope that he is not guilty. Oh my God, what a terrible thought, right? I mean, no matter who it is, it's a disgusting, terrible thought. Oh gosh, this case is really just, it's affecting me. Oops, yeah, no wait. Oh, allegedly, I'll grab you in a second. So happy you're coming up. So let me just get a picture of Jack so we can all look at his red mug. All right, so this is Kaylee and Jack. Not like the greatest resolution pictures or whatever, but you get the idea. I'm going to find some better ones. There are better ones out there, but I just wanted you to experience Jack as we're talking about him. And I'm just going to grab some of the comments. Molson Man says, in my opinion, Jack is not involved whatsoever. Yeah, I personally don't think that he is. I never even considered it. And when Kaylee's family was adamantly out there saying there is no way Jack was involved, Jack loved her, like the mom said, it was just Kaylee being a brat. She was like, oh, I think we need some space. I think you need some space. And apparently she did this every now and then. According to Kaylee's family, they all believed that Kaylee and Jack were going to get married down the road. Sometimes families can be wrong about that kind of thing. They also report that there weren't any big problems between Kaylee and Jack, like they didn't have explosive fights. In fact, Kaylee's sister, Olivia, says at some point in one of the interviews that, well, actually, let me just bring it in really quick. We can listen to it. You can hear her say it yourself. It'll just take a second. I know exactly where this one is. And then I'm going to bring allegedly up. Yay. If anyone else would like to come up onto panel, please do. You're more than welcome. We like guests here. Okay. So it was actually a video that I uploaded just today. It's in there, right? And the thumbnail says Idaho 4 families ghosted by police. And that has to do with what Kaylee's dad said about how they're being treated by investigators. Oh my God, this case. Yeah. My grade for the investigation and the investigators themselves is going down significantly every day now. First it was like holding out hope, and then it was going down a little bit here and there. And now it's just like, we're getting some big plummets and dives. Yeah, it's not good. Just read a couple more. Let's see. Jennifer Bradford says, I think they ruled Jack out. That is what is being said regarding the sheer facts of the case. Maybe we should look at those really quick so we're all on the same page here. You guys do a good job at staying all on the same page, because I think the people, generally speaking, that are here, we might have differing opinions, but we all like to live in the realm of relative reality. Realm of relative reality. How do you like that? Whereas, of course, on some channels, people don't enjoy living in the realm of relative reality so much. And so then things get really stupid. Like literally, they just get stupid. So I like that you guys are, we're all just kind of on the same wavy line. Oh, come on, computer. Jesus. Let's see if this is going to take a minute. I'm not even going to wait for it. Oh, no, it's not, I guess. Okay, you know what? Let me bring allegedly up while I'm getting this ready, because I got to scroll through it a bit. And we all love allegedly. So everybody, please Welcome, allegedly, up to the panel. Hey, allegedly friend, how are you doing?
Good, good. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hello from all over the world. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think? Well, the question I just put out there. Do you think that it's possible? Let's say it like that. Well, of course it's possible. So let me say it a little different still.
We all know it's 100%, possible. It's never discounted unless you are sitting there watching a person sleep or you have video.
Right.
I mentioned in other chats countless other cases, like the law student who, dismembered and unalived his next door neighbor and then sat there crying on the news. We have countless cases like that. For the family to say that they're 100% on his side, that's kind of scary because according to him, he was sleeping, right? I didn't answer the phone because I was sleeping. Why was everybody else on campus awake except for him?
Right. Well, this is what I was thinking about that question exactly. So I was thinking about this earlier because, as I said at first, it didn't even really cross my mind, only insofar as sometimes it's the guy who does it where the whole world says that's not the guy who did it. Like in the Chris Watts case, the last person in the world anyone thought would commit a crime like that. So even if he does have a good reputation, even if he does seem like this great guy, well, Chris Watts. So there. I
mean, Chris Watts' friends said it after the fact. Remember, they went on they were like, we were on his side. We let him sleep at our house.
Yeah.
We
course.
100% believed him.
World. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, now that it's, hindsight is 2020, everybody's like, no, I could tell he was guilty. Well, like when I was at work, I think I told you this, the moment he went on the news, I was like, that dude's lying. He's guilty. I stood up and I was like, this guy's lying. And everybody's like, who? And I'm like, nobody, because I was supposed to be working. Right. But no, I mean, I was watching him and you could just tell by the way he presented himself with this case. I hate to say it, and the police are like, no, we only put up tape so we could widen our investigation area. That's not true. We know that that's not true. You guys didn't even check outside during the initial investigation. You didn't walk 20 feet away from the house to build a perimeter and say, look, we need to look for evidence because this person came in and this person came out. We want to find evidence of him coming out. Or them coming out, but they didn't. And then they go back a week later and they're putting up tape. They're like, no, we just need more room so we can breathe. And the tape is going to help that. And
yes. Okay. Wait. Oh, go ahead. About the dog knowing him. Knowing the person.
Ara made a good comment about the police not being able to tell the family everything. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Because loose lips sink ships. And if you are told as a father or mother, oh, we think Jack did it, you're going to go right at him. You're there, and it's going to be all over the news. People are going to hear about it. So yeah, 100%.
But yeah, they can't compromise.
So did they ever say where they found the dog? Because this is what I said when this first hit, and they said that the dog was found and given to
the dog was in the house,
in a closet.
I don't know where exactly in the house. I don't think
that's an important
I don't think it's
factor.
been released. Yeah, I don't think that's been released. Whoops.
If you're a stranger and the dog's friendly, if it sees you harming one of its owners or friends, it may attack you. But if the dog knows you and you preemptively put the dog into a locked down area, well, then you could do whatever you want.
Well, okay, but let's I don't want to get silly about it though. We have to consider this breed of this dog is an incredibly docile, friendly, like not aggressive even when they need to defend themselves kind of animal. My sister has one. Looks just like Kaylee's dog. So this is not the kind of dog that is going to attack. It's going to be, it's going to give you the benefit of the doubt until it's doesn't,
Right. Joan said it was found outside, but I could have sworn they said that the dog was inside. I was just wondering because I like to gather as much information about the internal as well as the external of a location.
Yeah.
And
yeah, of course. But wait a minute, hold it. Well, no, go ahead.
Oh no, that was basically it. I was just wondering where they found the dog, stuff like that, because I couldn't find it anywhere. All I found was the dog was located and given to somebody that is part of the family. You
Yeah,
know,
well, what I had heard was the dog was in the house. I mean, at any rate, the dog was around. They had just Kaylee and Maddie had just walked the dog. Apparently, and I'm getting up some information right now so we can talk about. We're just going to focus on establishing the basic facts and understanding the timeline, and then adding things to it of this case so everybody can kind of follow along.
but see, I can't point my finger at anybody because of that. Like, there's just nothing available
Uh-huh.
at this time.
Yeah.
Like I was saying
Yeah, no,
originally,
there's nothing.
when they went there, they should have said, "Hey, we want a mile radius. We want every single vehicle and every person walking to and from this area for the past 24 hours, and we're going to have our team start looking through it." Because that footage will be very important. There's no way somebody could just teleport to the location, do what they didn't teleport out.
No, of course not.
Because we can't teleport yet.
Well, okay, but here's part of the problem is, don't get I can't get silly with this one even. Like, I'm way too serious about this crime. So, one reason that what you said, yes, that's true. There has to be video of them somewhere. They don't no one disappears into thin air. The big problem with that is this investigation went for almost 2 weeks without, whoops, hold it. I've got something in my ear here. Just a second. Without law enforcement updating their timeline to reflect reality. So what do we have as a result? We have a family and a sister who has an accurate timeline and knows what's up as far as what they can possibly know, about the murder of their loved one. And we have, as too frequently, law enforcement getting critical facts all screwed up and allowing the public to believe that they're the ones who they know all. And this, so there is a 11-minute difference between Olivia, Kaylee's sister's accurate timeline, and then versus investigators' timeline regarding when Kaylee and Maddie got home. And that could become, where does that become a really big deal? Oh, people have said in comments, or I've heard them say, oh, it's only 11 minutes. Who cares? No. These 4 young people were stabbed to death with a military style combat knife. 1 against 4, 6 in the house, very up close and personal. In my opinion, no way this was not planned and they were not targeted. But you don't mess that up worth 11 minutes for 2 weeks and let that linger out there. What that might do is eliminate possible evidence that would find, apprehend, charge, and convict this bastard, right?
Right.
So that's 11 minutes when people might not be looking at their security camera footage. So to all the people that are being all sassy pants back with me and saying, 11 minutes, seriously, people, try to understand what that plays out to look like in a real crime. It's a very big deal that they allowed that to be out there for 2 weeks. I mean, how hard is it to get the phone records when the family already has them and is calling you up and offering them to you?
Right. Exactly. That's one of the things that really irks me about this situation. If somebody has physical evidence of a time frame, you don't blow them off.
Right.
You say, hey, can you send it right away, please?
Oh, God.
I'm surprised the FBI didn't.
Thing.
See, the FBI, that's one of the things that bothers me. There's 46 agents assigned to the case.
Yeah.
Why didn't one of them say, hey, any information that comes in about this case comes through us first and then to you?
Right.
Or you relay the information. And if that's the case and the cop said, thanks for your info, but hold on to it, we're working on something here, report it to the FBI. Say,
Absolutely.
I told physical evidence to wait, and watch how quick they're like, wait, what? Somebody has evidence, like visual evidence? No, you don't make that wait.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy. And, and in general, you don't make that weight. But when the family has it all figured out and they are clearly telling you and the rest of the world with very articulate language what they have and the importance of it and their confidence in it, what took them 2 weeks to listen? It was, I mean, oh my God. And when the FBI is looking in phone records, they are looking into phone records, they are able to get those phone records within 24 hours. It's not like how the rest of law enforcement works. So there is no excuse for an inaccurate timeline lingering out there for 2 weeks. It drives me mad, obviously. It pisses me
It
off.
drives me crazy. And Caleb, yes. So there's 22 FBI agents that are working the case there, and then 22 that are outside of the area working it, and then 2 profilers. Those are behavioral folks. So when you really think about historical cases with the FBI, they usually send a behavior analyst, and then they send 2 to 3 agents. That's 4. No matter how big the murder is, no matter how big the case is, they usually send 4 because, too many chefs, that situation.
Right. Well, yeah.
Why 46? And how come 22 aren't in the immediate area working, but they're working in a different area? That brought a lot of questions. And the father's statement, I don't know it verbatim because I didn't study before the test, but he said something along the lines of knowing that my child and all these other children
right.
have other people and so many other people are affected by this situation. It makes you wonder, what does he mean? He mentions the immediate family right away, but then he says other families are experiencing
Okay,
this.
let's pause right there because I just happened to put out a video about this 3 hours
I think
ago.
I commented on it.
I think you did too. So let's listen to so I'm trying to bring up these, how I like to do. I like to bring up the examples as we're talking about them because a lot of people who are watching haven't actually seen the interviews or whatever it is we're referring to yet. So I want everyone to be able to get a taste of that. Okay. So coming down off the screen right now is Kelly and her ex-boyfriend, Jack, physically unattractive Jack, but love should be deeper than looks or whatever they say. All right. So what I was trying to get to a really long time ago there was I had no suspicion about him for a very long time, as I had said. And it was only when recently other people were starting to say, they think that he's a suspect or there's something about him that makes them think he is the suspect. I definitely would need a lot more information and evidence before I went that far, but I've been starting to think about it. Yo, can you mute yourself or something? You're crumbling in my ear. Okay, so it's okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude, sweetie. It's just like I've got like my really good earbuds in, so every sound is like amplified. Well, not literally amplified, but they're very sharp sounds. I'm sorry. It just sounded really rude. You guys know I'm not rude. Maybe sometimes allegedly. No, I love allegedly. But when other people started saying that, I had to think about it, of course, because I was just ready to shoot them down at first, but then I was like, well, I guess they're making some valid points. So what I did then, because I'd been making my profile, because I am a behavioral analyst. I obviously do not work for the FBI. I work with mostly teenagers who either have really intense behavioral problems and or autism. I've worked with different populations as well, including the criminally insane, but that's a whole nother story for another stream or video I've talked about before. I can send you a clip if you'd like. But so I started to make a profile, just like law enforcement should and often does do, of like in the Delphi case, they made a really good profile. Well, someone in the FBI, one of the profilers, made a very good profile. Most of the profiles predicting the qualities and characteristics of Bridge Guy were really freaking spot on. It's creepy how behavioral analysis is a science. It truly is a science. It's all evidence and data based, or I wouldn't be interested in it. So I started making a profile of this killer based on what we know. There are several factors that one looks at when they start to create a profile of the murderer. So, you know what, maybe give you some visuals. I think you guys will find this interesting. And the reason I started to do this, guys, was it didn't seem like anybody was doing it officially yet for the investigators, for the official investigation, which again boggled my mind because it was almost 2 weeks into it when I started thinking about this. These beautiful people had been dead, had been slain for 2 weeks. Usually a profile will be put forth regarding what the murderer might be like, so people know if they should give others a side eye or if they should make a call because, oh my God, that sounds like this person I know. And it just didn't seem like they were going to get around to it. Just like one of the many things is how I started to view the investigators. So I thought, well, shit, man, I can put a profile together based on evidence and data. So I'm going to put one out there. It might be wrong, but it's better than people having nothing to go by. Although, of course, many people without any kind of training, can kind of say, oh, well, the murder scene was like this. Might mean I don't know. Let me get to my reference here. I'm getting a little off topic. Well, on topic, off topic. Do you have anything to say allegedly? I'm sorry I yelled at you. I didn't yell at you though. Sorry.
No, you didn't. My cat was walking over her treats.
Oh,
And I realized at the last second because my phone's sitting right next to it.
It's like all the bunny noises I have. Yes.
She doesn't even eat the treats. Every time I buy her something, she'll like taste one and then she just ignores the rest. But this time she decided, since my phone's sitting right next to it, she wants to jump up and walk right by.
Right. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, pretty. Do you have anything to say about what we were talking about?
Again, I can't point fingers because it's
no, I'm not asking you to point fingers. I'm just like, but go ahead.
I mean, my original thought was when everybody was clearing him and talking about him being clear, and they're like, it's no way, it can't be him. I said, well, what was where was he? And they were like, home asleep. And I laughed very loudly because I was like, dude, just because somebody says they're home asleep doesn't mean they're home asleep. You need to be able to prove you're home. Have a witness. Do you have roommates? Are there people around who saw you come in? Is there cameras all over? Are you on the first or top floor? Because anybody can climb out a window, walk in an apartment and say, hey guys, I'm going to bed. All right, night, man. Sorry, we'll keep it down. Then you walk in, climb out the window. But everybody's like, no, the parents and everybody thinks he's innocent. And I'm like, I got so verbally assaulted by everybody for even asking, well, who's his witness? Who was he with? And nobody can answer that. And I'm like, how are you clearing him if he just says I was home asleep?
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking about that, okay, we're going to try to focus the conversation because I think I'm doing it. I keep meandering off. So going back to what we were talking about 10 minutes ago, what I was thinking about that as I started to consider, all right, well, all these people are asking, could he be the guy? Okay, let me go down that road with them. So we know that Kaylee called him 10 times in that evening before, they eventually went to bed. And, just heard her sister in that interview saying that Kaylee tended to be a power caller, like she'll call till someone freaking answers just because she wants to talk to someone, you know what I mean? So that's what power caller means. I realized a lot of people didn't know that. Okay, so he didn't answer. She called 10 times and he didn't answer. That just kind of seems strange to me. I just think a lot of, especially college students, and this is just me speculating, especially college students, a lot of people in general don't actually turn off their ringers when they go to bed because, many people like to be fully connected all the time. So sleeping through 10 power calls, and then Maddie had texted him and called him as well, all in this concentrated period of time right before they apparently went to bed. He didn't wake up for any of that. So what I would want to know for that evidence to mean more to me, the fact that she called many times, he didn't answer. He said he was in bed. So poof, that's the answer. He was in bed, innocent, not ever going to be proven guilty, right? I would want to know what his history is like of, has he ever slept through 10 of her consecutive calls before? Does he usually go to bed at a certain time, or is he usually up partying until 5 or 6 in the morning on weekends, like a lot of people in this kind of group of kids were? There ain't nothing wrong with that. They're in college. It's fine. It's not saying anything. It's just these are their habits, and it's important to know. And then, yeah, what allegedly is asking, was there somebody with him? Was there somebody that can corroborate his alibi? Because his alibi at that point is, I'm sleeping. I'm in bed sleeping, right? So there's so many things. There's so many questions that need to be answered. And then, asked, and then ultimately answered before I think anybody could even start to approach the word cleared. It's like, it's a big word, right? So it's saying, we are, that's one chance we're not going to have of maybe finding the person who committed this god awful, horrendous, egregious murders.
Well, there was a comment in the chat about the crime scene. So if you recall with Debbie Collier, when the police first gave their statement, they were like, we know, we saw this. It's a direct and focused attack, and we know that somebody did this. So even though they're saying, hey, it was a bloody mess, for them, possibly it was a bloody mess, something they've never seen before. There were other murders, but I think they were shootings. But maybe it's something they just never encountered. So when they say it was a massacre, it was a bloody mess, for them to say that, it may not. Yeah, exactly. For them, that might be a normal term that they use.
Right.
And everybody else is like, that means they painted the walls.
Right.
So ultimately, you can't utilize their initial statement because we don't know what perspective he's using.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to something. We're going to go to what we do know, so we can just put this all together. So then we can springboard off of the speculation from there. So I was trying to pull this up. So I'm just going to bring up. It's a New York Times article I read earlier. I've been following their what's happening now, what do we know now, articles about these murders, and I think that they're pretty good. So just so FYI, if anyone's interested in doing the same, I'm sorry, it's a New York Post who is putting out, I believe, pretty good information on that. Hold it. Where is my StreamYard so I can bring this in stream? I can't find my StreamYard tab. What the heck? Hold it. Just a minute, guys. I got to find you. I lost you. Just one moment. I'll be right there. Oh my God. How do I do that? How did I do that? I don't know. All right. I don't see StreamYard. It's hiding on me. Okay, there it is. All right. All right, guys. Here we go. Welcome to those of you who just came into the chat and discussion. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. And if anyone's mean to, let me know and I'll beat them up for you. Just kidding. I'll be physically violent. Okay, here it is. Dun, dun, dun. So this article was published yesterday on Monday, August 28th. So let's see. Let's just watch this little 54-second video here. You get in there. That's so weird. My StreamYard keeps like hopping away. That's really bizarre. I've never seen it do that before. Huh. Oh gosh. Everybody leave us alone. There it is. Okay. My gosh. It's weird. Okay. Oops. Heck. There we go. It's really weird audio, yes. It's just whatever audio's in the background there. Aw. Okay, so that was that for the little video. It was a little strange, but okay. We watched it. It's been done. Can't go back now. All right, so let me read the article. So it just says University of Idaho Murders update, what we know so far. So I'm going to make the print a little bit bigger because I only have one contact in because I think I scratched my cornea. All right. The gruesome stabbing murder, the gruesome stabbing murders of 4 friends from the University of Idaho while they slept sent shockwaves through the small college town of Moscow, Idaho, and the rest of this country as well. After partying at separate locations, the victims, all under 22, were killed at their off-campus home in the dead of the night in a grisly and seemingly motiveless slaying. I wonder why they choose to say motiveless. I already don't like this article as much as I did before. I think I just like the timeline stuff they gave. Local police and the FBI have examined thousands of pieces of evidence and hundreds of tips, but 2 weeks after the deaths, haven't announced a suspect or the murder weapon. But the coroner basically did, because the coroner is a talker and inappropriately so. But we have so much to get to. We're going to get there too. Back to the article. With a killer on the loose, many students have declined to return to the university for final weeks of the semester. And the father of one victim and says he's frustrated by the cops' response in the puzzling case. That said a lot. So here's a picture of, you guys have probably seen this. It's the foundation of the home. The apartment the place where they all live together. So this appears to be blood. I saw somebody on a channel. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't somebody I watched a lot. I think kind of ridiculous, saying that he thought people were irresponsible by suggesting that this was blood because it wasn't tested. So we couldn't possibly definitively know what this is, right? Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's blood. So we know what an incredibly bloody and gruesome scene it was. It was horrible. All right, back to the article. And under this particular picture, it says blood. Oh God. Oh, this is making me feel so sick. Blood oozes out the side of an off-campus home where 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death. Okay. And now we have a little bit about Kaylee and Maddie, each of the victims, and Xana and Ethan. I'm not glossing over these because this is not important, because this is so important to know about their lives and know what the people who love them loved about them. But I am actually making a video on that right now that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow. So I will be reading all of that and adding my own information. You can look for that video tomorrow, okay? So the night of the murders. Before the murders, the friends spent their Saturday night partying like many college students. Chapman, who's Ethan Chapman, I'll say the first and last name in case you guys don't know the last name only, okay? Ethan Chapman and Xana Kernodle went to a gathering at his fraternity and were home around 1:45 a.m. Sunday, police said. Concalves and Mogan, so Kaylee Concalves and Maddie Mogan went to a local bar called Corner Club, leaving around 1:30 a.m. They stopped at a late night food truck where they chatted with others on a line waiting for their food. A rideshare driver who has been eliminated as a suspect drove the 2 students home, and they arrived just before 2 a.m. or as Olivia will tell you, at 1:56 a.m. Okay. Scrolling down. Once home, called her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Jack Decor, 7 times between 2:26 and 2:52 a.m. But he didn't answer because he was asleep. Police have ruled out Decor as a suspect. It's early for that. in my opinion. So here we just see, this is a picture from the video from the grub truck that was found so quickly. Olivia, Kaylee's sister, found it. She sleuthed and she found, and she presented to the world. And as a result of finding that and a lot of other things and putting information together and putting it out there to the world knows something actual about this case. And I think that's freaking amazing. As I said in that video earlier that I shared with you, I think she is one badass woman. Okay. So, now these were the two survivors. I'm going to read about these, Bethany and Dylan, because I'm not putting these two in my video tomorrow. It's a dedication to the victims. So there were two survivors in the home. They were on the first floor. Apparently, it's thought that Xana and Ethan were sleeping on the second floor. At least they were in her second floor bedroom. And Kaylee and Maddie were on the third floor, just like they usually are at night. That's where their bedrooms are. Now, I'm also putting together a video of the layout of the house. I saw you mention that Jody is cool, and I know a lot of people want that. I wanted it, and I wasn't finding it the way I wanted it, so that's why I'm making it with floor plans, and I have two sets of like blueprints plus the picture plus current stuff, so I think I have it fleshed out very accurately. Okay, so here were the two survivors. The four murdered students were found on the second and third floor of their home. The two roommates living on the ground floor, Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen, were spared. It's unclear why the two roommates were not killed and if they slept through the attacks. Funk and Mortensen had also been out that night and arrived home just after 1 a.m. the morning of the murder. Neither has spoken publicly about the murders, but showed off matching tattoos to commemorate their fallen friends. I think they're being smart. I think they're doing good looking out for themselves and for the memory of the victim of their friends by not speaking out right now, because it's like throwing meat to the wolves. Oops.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, God. It has also emerged that murdered roommate Kaylee Congalvis's dog Murphy was at the house when police responded around midday. They apparently responded at noon. That was a weird phrasing of that statement. However, authorities have not confirmed if they believe the dog was in the house at the time of the murders, which probably, like you said, Joan, means it's not, because why would they include that statement? So now here we have the evidence. Police have yet to locate a murder weapon, but are believed to be seeking a fixed blade knife, possibly a K-bar style combat knife, which is there's a picture of it somewhere else. I'll bring one up. Oh, God. Moscow Building Supply General Manager Scott Jute told the Idaho Statesman that a police officer stopped by the retailer a few times in the week following the murders to ask if he had sold any knives of that type. So at least they're doing something. This is good. That's good. Good job. Police say that they have processed more than 1,000 tips, collected 103 pieces of evidence, conducted almost 100 interviews, and taken more than 4,000 photographs at the crime scene. I don't know. Does one possible DNA or fiber or hair sample equal a piece of evidence? Because if it does, with a murder of 4 people plus at least one assailant, considering the nature of the crime and the amount of blood and body fluid exchange in some way, at least from person to scene, that had to have happened with this style of a crime, I would almost expect, and I did look at the amount of pieces of evidence that were collected in other murder cases. So this is why I'm saying this to you. It should be expected that they would collect 3 pieces of evidence, a lot more.
I have
So I'm
said the
confused
same
by
thing.
that.
Same.
That's not, yeah. Yeah, I mean, come on. Oh boy. Okay. This is when I started getting scared. When they put out these numbers that I'm reading to you right now, they were something like this. And I was like, oh no. This is not go. I was just living in fantasy land thinking, well, maybe those will work out just fine. Maybe well, obviously not just fine. I mean, it's a terrible crime. But it'll work out just fine as far as finding the person who did this, charging him, and having a successful trial. But this was scary. This indicated to me that might not be happening. Oh boy, little smack in the face of reality there. Whoops, gotta go back up. This newspaper website has a ton of ads. It's hard for newspapers to turn into digital content, and as a result, they pack the ads, which is kind of a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. Okay, so oh boy, here's a picture. Okay. The killer likely entered the 23,000 square foot home. That's exactly how big my house is. Okay. Between 3 and 6 a.m. through a sliding door and stalked through 3 bedrooms. Why do they use the word stalked? I don't know. I want this writer here to answer some questions for me and possibly retract a couple of these things, or maybe they need to get fired. Now that I'm reading this like out loud and slowly, there's some word choices I really don't like. Okay. Stalked through 3 bedrooms, carrying out their knife rampage, records indicate. Goncalves and Mogan were killed on the 3rd floor, while Chapin and Kernodle were killed in a bed they were sharing on the 2nd floor. So there is a photo of a K-bar style knife. So something, maybe important about this particular kind of knife is oh, these freaking ads. I can't even make it bigger. You gotta be kidding me. What a crappy site. I'm getting agitated now. All right. So something important about this style of knife is you see that nice kind of like big hilt there. So that's the like piece of metal that's going across, like that's separating the handle and the blade. Having that hilt there and a well-constructed knife with a size hilt appropriate for the size of the knife is going to prevent you to some degree from, if you're stabbing something, then you hit something hard while you're stabbing something. If you don't have that hilt there, your hand will slip and will be a bloody fucking mess if it's this crime, because my God, seriously. So in order to carry out this crime, killing 4 people with multiple stab wounds, 4 adult-sized people with multiple stab wounds, I don't think you could use a knife that would allow your hand to just freely slip down it. Now, I've seen some people leave comments or say on their channels that because this style of knife is used, your hand is not going to slip and you're not going to get injured. That is completely
not true.
That's just stupid. Okay.
The guard is there just to prevent something from hitting your fingers on normal use, but not using it for this type of situation.
Rage stabbings, right?
Right. And that guard itself, you could still get hurt by using it. It prevents really bad injury, like if you're cutting through a branch or something, but that guard itself you could pinch your skin, cut yourself open. There are a ton of things that could happen. You can actually puncture your skin with the hilt because it's just a square, and squares have edges. And when they say when they say it won't slip, I don't know if anybody's a fisherman or a hunter out there, but if you ever had to use it for a fish, how slippery it can get. It doesn't matter. Blood is blood. Unless you have very small amount and it dries quick, then it becomes sticky. But when you have flowing blood, it's slippery. That's not that easy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So exactly. So for all of those reasons, the reason I bring up that point is certainly not to be graphic about it, but this was one of the examples of things that people are starting to say commonly, like, oh, duh, it's common sense. You couldn't have injured yourself using this knife because of look at that little guard there, you know? No. If like we think about that for another moment, we realize that that's just not accurate. That's not true. So think about it for another moment. We should always do that.
Oh, I do want to make a comment.
Blade guard. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to make one comment. It was admirable that the police were going from location to location asking if anybody sold the knife.
Oh,
but
yeah,
somebody
that's their
that
job.
committed this
It's not
crime-
admirable. Wait, hold it. Not necessarily admirable doing their job.
Right, true.
Like, yeah.
At least they were doing that part of their job. But
Uh-huh.
in my personal opinion, this wasn't a recent purchase. This is something somebody's used and had for a while.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So that was the only comment I wanted to make on that.
No, I think that's definitely that's a really good point. And you know, and that goes into and I think that the weapon, the choice of weapon that was used is, it's a lot of times in a murder, people use a gun or their hands, like a strangulation or something. Yes, it's going to mean something about the profiler of the murderer if it's a gun versus a strangulation, but using this style of knife while murdering this many people, I think has some very specific implications on the profile that this person must fit. And we'll go into that at some point, but I just wanted to point that out. Okay, let me continue with this. And there's so much to talk about and cover. All right. Okay. And the cute little dog there, of course. Oops, I have to share it with you again. Oh, StreamYard, I love you. I love you so much. I don't love StreamYard at all. All right, here we go. All right. So moving past the knife. I'm sorry. I should have let you guys kind of give you a warning that was coming. No, guys, it's a true crime channel, guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes there's going to be weapons shown. That's just how it's going to be. I don't know how to get around it. I want to get around it. Okay. So then the question is asked in this New York Post article, who is the killer? Authority, and the answer the author gives, the writer gives, authorities do not know who's responsible for the killings, but they have ruled out a slew of suspects, including Goncalves' ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCour, the man with Goncalves and Morgan at the food truck, the guy with the hoodie, if you've seen that video, the person who drove the two girls home, the surviving two roommates, Martinson and Funk, the victims themselves, as there is no evidence of a murder-suicide, and the friends who were summoned to the house by the two surviving roommates the morning of November 13th before the police arrived. It's another weird fact. Apparently I don't know, I'm not going to go down that road just yet. Rumors circulated that Goncalves had said she had a stalker, but police have been unable to substantiate that claim. Now, I can tell you that the only person that I have heard actually say that they heard that she had a stalker was, wait a minute, you guys may have already heard this, but I just want to tell you who it is because you might be surprised. If you know, don't say anything, not just yet. So I searched for anybody else making a statement that Kelly said she had a stalker. I mean, searched. And I talked to a few other people that did the same. Some of you are in chat. Hi, thank you. Let me know if you did find anything different. None of us could find any trace of anyone saying that Kelly said that she had a stalker other than... I hope you warmed it up your wrist because this is going to be a long drum roll. Yeah, I think I put it in here. I hope I put in this video. Oh, yes, I did. I'm sure I did. I just made this today. I think this actually was a video came out well. I suggest watching it. I uploaded it a few hours ago. Where's he? I can't remember where in the video it is though. Oh, look, was that just, look who made a cameo appearance in my video from earlier today. Oh, wait, am I sharing this video yet? Yes, I am. Okay, yeah. It's our friend, Lindsay Neiman, Kylie Rodney's mom.
Had this wonderful family in life. Going back.
Oops. Okay. So, all right. The person who claimed, the only person, as far as I and several other people I talked to who did a lot of researching, if anyone else has said this, the only person we can find that claimed that she said she had a stalker is this guy.
Because in my next video, I'm going to talk about rumors that were going around about one of the housemates having a stalker.
From the O.J. Simpson trial, now lives
Wait,
in Idaho.
we missed his name. Hold it.
One of the housemates having a stalker.
A new wrinkle, former LAPD detective Mark Furman, yes,
Mark Furman. Racist. Mark Furman. That's who said, that's who is the only person who's reported that Kaylee said she had a stalker. Mark Furman. That's it. And people are taking that and running down the field with that piece of information. We've got to stop doing this. This investigation is sloppy enough, in my opinion, as it is. We have to stop hearing things that sound juicy and repeating them because we like the juice. Please, anyone just, please, let's not do that. Please.
I've heard it dropped on multiple channels, and I kept asking where, and they're like, one of her friends, a friend of hers, and I'm like, who?
No,
can you give a name?
There's no friend involved. There is Mark Furman, one of the grossest people. I don't know if you guys remember him from the O.J. Simpson trial, but he was the one who sullied the he's the one that further sullied the reputation of that police department because he was recorded going off with racial slurs, like really angry, hateful, nasty ones, where you're like, wow, this person didn't just say a bad word that they shouldn't have said. They really mean it, and they really hate a certain race of people. He's a disgusting person, in my opinion. So that's who we're taking the ball from, and we're running downfield with it. Stop doing that, people. Stop it. It's not good for anyone. Just stop. Control yourselves, okay? All right. Anyway. Oops. Let me just check out some comments here. Let's see. Oh, I'm coming down to current times in chat, guys. Just wait for me. It takes a while with StreamYard here. Oh, Yarn and Mittens. Hi, honey. How are you? Yeah, I love Yarn and Mittens. Of course, you're not too late to the party. Hi, Sis Vicious. How are you? Aw, all the girls are in the house. Yay. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Dretchen Fang says about Mark Furman, I'm surprised he's even still part of the law enforcement establishment. Ain't that something? Huh. What about that? I mean, seriously, who hired that man after they heard that recording? Disgusting. To protect citizens, please, people. Oh my God. Yeah, Sis Vicious says, oh my God, if he's the best voice, this is going downhill fast. Yes. Sloppy. Yeah, super sloppy. Black Cadillac says, Mark Furman moved from LA to Idaho. No wonder. Yeah, I mean, we knew something like Idaho was in his future. Well, I would have imagined worse. But not that Idaho's bad. I've actually never been there. I've been to the surrounding states, but not Idaho. Yeah, not someone I believe, Tony. Nope. Oh my God, kill me. So, okay, so I know there's just so much to cover. I know I've skipped around a little bit now. Right now, it's in the same video. So I want to play part of the interview with Kaylee's sister, Olivia, her alone. She did a few interviews where it was her alone. Once or twice. I can't remember if this was two different ones. Her husband was there and he was on camera at the end, but while she was being interviewed, it was just her on camera. She's just, she's just a stand up for her sister. She's a good woman. All right, here, let's hear what she has to say about her communication with her sister Kelly and her belief that certain things were not involved in the
Mark Furman from the
oh gosh, sorry, I didn't misplace my video. Certain things are not involved in this crime. So I'm gonna let her say it.
To take this personally because she was ever.
Oh, I like how this whole exchange goes down. I really like it. This is Chris Cuomo interviewing Olivia, and I just like how this whole exchange goes
about
is found.
Well,
for
no,
the
no,
four
not that far.
victims and for their
original timeline where this is just my daughter and these children.
It's just add this triple homicide.
She's the neighbor, she's the friend. You know, she was the girl who made your coffee in the morning. And everyone should be taking this personally.
So we're taking it personally, and it doesn't make any sense. Certainly not to you. In terms of what you understood about your sister's life, was there any threat that she had ever had? Was there anybody who was coming after her on social media? Did she have a past, a problem with a boyfriend or a friend? Anything to inform why somebody would do violent to her, her friend, her other roommate, and her boyfriend?
Absolutely. There's nothing. There's no boy problem. There's no threat. There's no high-risk lifestyle that could have indicated this. It has taken all of us completely by shock, and we have absolutely no ideas. None.
Now, your frustration, other than just dealing with the tremendous law.
Okay, so yeah. So she says that there's no boy problems. There's no, you know, her living a lifestyle that necessarily includes risk taking that might put her in a certain kind of situation. And, you know, in another interview, she mentioned specifically that Kelly did not have a stalker. She said that she and Kelly talked on the phone. No, she said that they FaceTimed for oftentimes several hours a day. She's like, it wasn't even on the phone. We FaceTimed, you know, I believe implying that they weren't just hearing each other's voices. They were seeing one another's person. They were seeing each other's faces. They were, you know, it was like they were together. I think she was emphasizing her closeness with Kelly, even though Kelly was off to college, right? So, you know, she says Kelly is not the kind of person, she would not be shy to bring us into whatever situation she had going on in her life, whether it was a stalker or whatever. It sounds like, you know, Kelly's had a little, she likes her drama monster gets hungry every now and then. And, you know, like all young girls, oh my gosh. So, and her family hears about it. You can tell that by the way they're telling their stories. They all have indicated or made the statement they don't believe, they're certain that Kelly did not have a stalker. So again, I just keep going back to that and emphasizing that because the whole stalker thing is taking on a whole life of its own. And let me repeat, the only person that said that was Mark Furman. Just walk away from the stalker thing for now. I mean, somebody could have had a stalker in that house. Yeah. Maybe they knew about it. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe the murderer had something to do with that stalker or was a stalker. If there was a stalker, and doesn't matter if they knew about it or not, he still could be the stalker. Possibly. But it wasn't the way that Mark Furman, you know, threw it down the field.
Just threw it out there.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love Olivia. She has such a great composure to herself. She's amazing.
She is so seriously amazing. So I put the link in chat, Yarnaments, if you want to come up. Let me just finish playing the statement. So now she's going to talk about, she's asked by Chris Cuomo what her biggest frustrations are with the investigation. So what she says here is so well said. It's very important. And she gives us a message of what we can do to help her try to arrive at a place of justice as quickly as possible for those victims because, well, let's listen to her say it.
Loss for your family is what in terms of the investigation?
I think this happened in a small town, and I absolutely understand that local authorities were probably overwhelmed, and I don't blame them at all. They did exactly what they should have done, but we're losing critical time. And I want more coverage. I want more done. I understand that we can't release information. It's an ongoing investigation. I don't ask for that. I don't want to impede on anything, but I want more people speaking out And if that takes the police to push that agenda, that's fine. But unfortunately, I feel like it's been me and the families pushing that agenda, and that's been really difficult.
Okay, so those of you who are
no, I'll
familiar
keep
with the
playing this
Kylie
here.
Rodney case, I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, wow, oh, what a difference, right? Whereas in the Kylie Rodney case, Kylie's own mother and her friends told anybody outside of their small community of 16,000 to go take a hike, to get out of their business. I want to hear from you. Kaylee's sister, Olivia, is asking for the help of anyone, which I think is so wise. This woman just has got it all going on. Kaylee's sister, she was so blessed to have this wonderful family in life. Going back to what Olivia said about Kaylee and how she was in life,
skipped around.
she
Okay,
says
hold it.
there's no boy problem. There's
Oh,
no
right.
high risk behavior. There was no drama of any sort that Olivia or her family knew about. And it seems that Kaylee was very, very close with her family. So this is a very important point because in my next video, I'm going to talk about the rumors that were going around.
Okay, so I already discussed that. So, but Yarn and Mittens, honey, you're not backstage though. That's the only problem. I would see you if you were backstage. Here, let me put the link in chat again. I just checked around. I just poked around the backstage, honey. You're not there. I would love for you to come up though, but I don't know. Let's see. No, I mean, if you're backstage, you'd just be backstage. So I'm not sure about that one. But let me go to, while we're waiting for Yarn and Mints to come up, because she always has something important to say. Let's listen to what Kaylee's dad had to say about how the family is now being treated by investigators. Now, again, let's just listen to him say it. Ooh, because we all know I've got opinions on this one, but it's just freaking unbelievable. All right, here we go.
We continue to grieve with you and your family, and we're hoping to get answers.
This was from Sunday, like 2 days ago. Sunday, the 27th, the afternoon of Sunday, the 27th. Wait, yes, that's correct.
For you, sir. When was the last time you talked with law enforcement about the case?
Well, we just had a vacation. Law enforcement told me that they were going to drop off a little bit and not to
Yarnamans, I see you backstage. After this is done, I'll bring you up, okay?
expect the same type of communication that I had gotten before. They passed it on to another person. So basically, long story short, it was Wednesday, 5 p.m. was the last time that they reached out to me. So, yeah, that's rough.
Sir, what are they telling you?
Wait a minute, hold it. I need to emphasize this point. So he is speaking on Sunday, this past Sunday, November 27th. And what he's saying is law enforcement had not reached out to him to give them an update, which is what law enforcement does. It's part of their job, is being the connection between the investigation and the community and the victims' families, right? It's part of the job. They haven't been in touch with him for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days regarding the stabbing, slaying of their 21-year-old daughter and 3 of her friends, probably while they slept. 5 days. Guys, that is freaking... What do you think about that, allegedly? If you're still there. Oh, and let me bring up your ornament.
I am. I hit mute, so I forgot that I hit mute. I think communication is a very big key when it comes to criminal cases. And when the police are not talking to somebody, there's a reason. And it's usually a bad reason. They don't know anything, and they don't want.
No. But that's not how it is here. Wait. Let me just play the rest of this here, and then let's come back to it. I mean, interrupt you, but
I think loose lips will come into this one. But go ahead.
Well, loose lips, but they still stay here. Let me just. I'm gonna say. Let's just listen to it. Part of an investigator's job is to stay in contact with the victims' families. It's part of what they do. Like
correct.
That.
But he blew something. Did you Did you see the part where he said, "Now that we all know"?
Yes, here, let me just play. Let me just play here. Here, let me just play.
They're kind of just telling me that they can't tell me much, which is frustrating to me because I've been very trustworthy. I do know things. I haven't shared things. We're the same family that found the original timeline. We're the same family that broke into the phones. We tried everything in our ability to try to get into this system because a court order is not the best thing. So we broke in and we did what we did. We know that we have some family passwords that we all share. So we broke in and we helped them. So it's hard for me to give up as a father my protective ability to other.
Whoops. What happened there? Oh crap! I just here. Well, I'll bring it back up. But it's also important to point out here that he's not saying this directly, but his wife did in her interview when she was on camera with her daughter, Olivia, that not only did they get those records like straight up quick, that they contacted law enforcement and tried to hand them over the data, and they didn't take it.
But the father really hit them hard below the belt with what he opened up when he's getting ready to say.
Wait, hold on. Wait, just let's wait till he says it. Here, let me keep playing it, okay?
Okay. I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't.
That's okay. It's okay. Whoops. Sorry.
Sweet mama, it's okay.
What? Here, we're just gonna have to, it's like 30 seconds. Oh, wait, hold it. I gotta go back.
Strong arm it. You're full of piss and vinegar tonight. I love it.
Here.
Yeah, I love, that's one of the things that made me stick with her channel when I first came in. She gets extremely passionate about cases, especially when she finds something. So it's a good thing.
I feel the same way. I think it's the medication they give for lupus.
Oh my God. I thought that I was sharing my screen. So I was about to be like, why are you guys fucking talking over Kaylee's dad? But it's not shared. Sorry.
You
are about to really see some piss and vinegar. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody, let's please open the panel up for Steve. Here he goes.
I won't give away the secret, Mom. I promise.
No, it's not the secret, but I just want to try to present this information in a way that makes sense to the people that are watching this, especially on the replay, who don't know the details of the case, because I know that often happens a lot. So I just want to try to establish in this video, the first live I've done about.
Can I have first dibs of explaining something once they hear it?
Yes,
absolutely.
You
can. Law enforcement told me that.
I think here's what it really boils down to. I think it's important for no, it's not. No, seriously, it's like this is a serious thing. It's important for people to hear the information and the words from the primary source rather than only our take on it or our reaction to it. And that's not what this channel does. That's not what you guys do. But that's what a lot of people around YouTube do. And it's happening already with this case. And I do not like it because that is what's going to cause the family a lot of heartache and the investigation to be slowed down or sabotaged altogether. So I am just like, I have observed these things that are going on right now at other channels or whatever. It's not even anything specifically. It's just stuff that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Correct.
Well, I'm explaining. So to everybody who's watching. So I have like a list of these things that I am not going to stand for because they're not towards the goal of justice. They're clearly towards just serving that channel. And I do not like that. So let's listen to Steve.
They were going to off a little bit and not to expect the same type of communication that I had gotten before. They passed it on to another person. So basically, long story short, it was Wednesday, 5 p.m. was the last time that they reached out to me. So, yeah, that's rough.
Sir, what are they telling you?
They're kind of just telling me that they can't tell me much, which is frustrating to me because I've been very trustworthy. I do know things. I haven't shared things. We're the same family that found the original timeline. We're the same family that broke into the phones. We tried everything in our ability to try to get into this system because a court order is not the fastest thing. So we broke in and we did what we did. We know that we have some family passwords that we all share. So we broke in and we helped them. So it's hard for me to give up as a father my protective ability to other men.
Share with us that it was a targeted attack. Can you give us any information about that? Have they told you who the target was or given you more insight than they have the public?
I don't want to talk bad about them because these are some hardworking individuals, and I'm doomed without them. We're all doomed without them. This defund police is just a terrible idea.
Now, wait a minute.
The fact that we're
gonna...
finding out that there's more than...
Yes. Okay. So there's a big statement. So I just want to say something about this, about comment and chat here, because I just want everyone to be clear on what is and what is not going on here. And then you can, of course, make your own opinions as long as we're not making it. I just want everyone to be clear. So, whoops, let me go find that comment. And then I'm going to keep playing this so Steve can finish his statement. Oh, Tony. Hi, Tony Smith. I'm not going to forget you. Stop it. So Tony Smith, and how are you doing? Says, I have no clue why police would reach out to him, the father, to give him confidential info, knowing that the father and daughter were giving interviews on TV every day of the week. Well, I think that that's totally a good point. And of course, they're not going to give him confidential information or be expected to, certainly, especially given the circumstances you just explained. Nevertheless, I'll just say what my reaction to all this is. I say in this video, but I don't even think we're ever going to be able to get to it. So I have two friends who had children. They're both sons who it ultimately turned out was an investigation. One was murdered. Another one was an accidental death. This was two different points in time, just over the years. But I had this experience of communicating with them on a daily basis, while they were communicating with investigators on a daily basis, because in both cases, until the investigation was complete and then the investigation took the course of charges and plea or trial or whatever, or, just accepting and healing that it was an accidental death, investigators were in touch with them, called them sometimes several times a day, every single day, from the death of their child to when charges were put out there, or they, determined it was an accidental death. And from being a fan of true crime and watching the details of so many true crime cases and covering the details of true crime cases, that is always what happens. I don't think that they should be giving him any special confidential information. Maybe based on what he's saying, you're getting the idea that he thinks that, so he's definitely mistaken. My problem is, and what I was trying to point out in this video, and I don't know, maybe I just didn't make the point well enough, was that investigators not being in touch with the victims' families of this fucking horrific, disgusting crime that I'm losing sleep over is simply not acceptable. And I'm going to hand it back to Steve now.
This defund police is just a terrible idea. The fact that we're finding out that there's more than just my daughter and these children that have suffered, it's terrible to think that we can defund these guys. It's an absolute atrocity. That's not something that is it's political. It's not political. This is just facts, guys. We can't allow these people to just run free. So beyond that, they haven't shared a lot. We have some private detectives that have reached out to us and given us information. We take that with a grain of salt and we try to be careful.
I wonder if SF Investigates was one of them.
Just today, I reached out to the officers and said, hey, this guy's treated me with respect on the show. I'd like to share some things with him that I found out on my own. And they asked me to not do that. So we're holding our tongue. We're waiting patiently, but we're definitely concerned.
So there you have it, the latest
Okay,
interview
here. Now
with Steve.
you don't have to hear my reaction because I just gave it. So let me just go back to the soundbite that Yarna Mittens is drooling over, and it is an important one. That's why it's in the title of the video.
I think it's highly important.
It's very important. Let's listen to it again. And so I'm going to play it for a couple times for people that don't know what we're talking about or haven't heard it, so you can just give it a moment of consideration before hearing others' reactions to it. Because remember, that's what I'm trying to get away from. Everybody getting information from the most primary source possible and not listening to people who have processed the information incorrectly for, selfish reasons. And I'm certainly not saying it's anyone affiliated with this channel because we don't have people like that around here. All right. And if they come around here, they're short-lived. All right. Somewhere right. Let's see.
My daughter and these children that have suffered.
Okay. I hit it right on the dot. Okay. All right. Listen carefully, y'all. Oops. I don't know why, by the way.
Matters.
I don't know why he goes into that thing about defunding the police. I don't really see what the connection is in the defunding the police, which is really, I don't even want to, well, let's not go down that road.
Well, it's an issue of politics. We don't want to go down there.
Exactly.
It's political. It's not political. This is just facts, guys. We can't allow
information about that. Have they told you who the target was or given you more insight than they have the public?
I don't want to talk bad about them because these are some hardworking individuals, and I'm doomed without them. We're all doomed without them. This defund police is just a terrible idea. The fact that we're finding out that there's more than just my daughter and these children that have suffered, it's terrible to.
The fact that we are finding out that it's more than just my daughter and these children that have suffered, it's terrible. Let me just play you that soundbite from his own mouth one more time, just like that 10 seconds, so you guys can all hear it. Oops.
I'm doomed without them. We're all doomed without them.
Strange
this
choice of word,
defund police is just a terrible idea. The fact that we're finding out that there's more than just my daughter and these children that have suffered, it's terrible to think that we can defund these guys. It's an absolute atrocity. That's not something that is it's political.
Okay, go ahead, Yarna Mittens.
Yes. Okay. If you listen very, very carefully to his words, now that we are finding out, now that we're discovering that it is not only my child and these children, right?
He says discovering.
I'm putting it into words so that everybody's understanding.
No, don't change his words. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I did give his words, and then I put in discovering for anybody who's not.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people are copting on to what is happening. He says, now that we are discovering that not.
Well, he says now that we are finding out.
Correct. And then he says,
interpreting it is discovering. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. He says that not only my child and these other children have been hurt by this, what happens is he's getting information, they're sharing with him, he is sharing with them, but the brain is looking at self-preservation of his children. Right. And the brain is going to focus solely on that. And even when and I don't believe for a second he intentionally meant to do that. I think that a couple of things have happened. If you've noticed.
Wait, hold it. Stop there. So what do you think he did?
I think that he let out of the bag that this case is connected to other murders like it in some sort of serial manner, whether or not it's a serial killer or whether or not it's been done once before by someone. Because let me tell you something.
Wait. I'm going to catch that. So you think that this person is a serial killer, or you think that he thinks that, or you think that he's been doing that? I think
the police have the law enforcement have seen some consistency between this case and another case in which other people have also suffered like his and these children. Use his words. We are now finding out. Who's finding out? Who's the we? Look at the grammar. It's not us. It's we is in them. Their families who are connected to law enforcement are beginning to find out. And the reason he's sharing it with us is because if you've noticed, and I've been on here a lot, I know a lot about this case. There are a lot of true crime on YouTube that are beginning to find cases. For instance, the date of November the 13th. Whether
Right.
or not they connect with this, I have no idea. We have no way of knowing what case is connecting, but we know by his words that they have found out that their children are not alone. Someone else similar to their guy has committed the act before. And due to that, quickly after he gets a phone call that they've cut him off, they're not going to share anymore. I think that he's not
Wait,
realizing.
hold it. How do you get shortly after that he then gets a phone call? This is now, it's fine. Like what you're putting
I'll
together, I
tell
think
you why.
I think it's good. I think it's good, like theorizing, but I mean,
Well,
but
let
what
me
you
finish
go
telling
ahead.
you, and then you can tell me. This
Okay.
is not the first time he's slipped up. He's in his words, he says that for the first 2 weeks, they called them every single day. And that he was able to get through the phone in ways that they were unable. He was able to help them out with that. He was able to help them in a few situations, and the police were happy about that. He went to them and asked if he could share with somebody who ran a podcast that he trusted, and they said, no, we don't want you to do that. For 2 weeks, they've been very close working together, but he has spilled beans on more than one occasion. And we see after he has spilled beans, suddenly they're saying to him, you're not going to have the same level of contact. We're going to drop back. And he says, we
Well,
haven't
he
heard.
also said that it's being handed to somebody else.
Yes, and he said that he wouldn't be hearing from them. And then he says, listen, his words, he says, we haven't heard from them since Wednesday when he's talking on the news. He says, we haven't heard from them, and it's hard for him, he says.
Yeah, it should be. And so there's kind of two separate issues going on here that I just want to point out. If he spilled the beans, or my take on it is maybe he spilled the beans, maybe he's saying these things intentionally. We don't know. That's
I
the
don't
fact.
think so.
Well, okay, you don't think so, but I'm going with subjectively, we don't know. But and maybe he was being told certain things, although I highly doubt it, that was like privileged information. I don't think that anybody would risk blowing this case. I don't know, but
I agree.
But that's one issue. But the fact that the investigator's office has not been in touch with a victim's family to give them a general vanilla update on the happenings of the case, even if it is, we have not made any progress, but we did say, that's what investigators do.
Well, I think it's disgusting, to be quite frank with you, but I think that he is a very smart man, and I think he is able to extrapolate from the law enforcement when they speak. He's a digger. I'm going to tell you, his daughter Kaylee sounds a lot like her father. If you listen to him, he's not a stupid man. And I think he's able to extrapolate and work his way around what he's being told. And I think he's a bit of a hot potato. He's out there. He's ready to go to war. In one of the news sessions, he says, listen, he's got my number. He's got my address. Come on. The law enforcement doesn't need that. They don't need that kind of.
Well, I don't think he was saying that for the sake of law enforcement. I think he's a human being, and his daughter was just murdered.
He was reaching out to the murderer. He wasn't doing it for law enforcement.
May I interject?
Yes. So,
but law enforcement isn't going to appreciate that. Is what I'm saying.
Being a human being.
Listen, law enforcement doesn't appreciate people getting into their investigation. You have a family background in attorneys and such. I have a family background a little bit more akin to some of this side of things. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you right now, one of their biggest pet peeves is
Mhm.
getting into their investigation. You get
Mhm.
in there and you start to dig, and
Mhm.
make yourself a home. It's a problem. They're going to back you way off. They're very territorial, very territorial.
Right. But still, yeah, yes, all of that, but I still is really, I think, unprofessional or strange or
I
just
agree. It's
ignorant that they haven't been in
unprofessional.
touch
It's
with them.
rude. It's
I'm sure they
rude.
don't want. I'm sure they don't want people, going. But I mean, they're used to it. And I just
They're
feel like,
not used to it. That's what we're seeing.
okay, yeah,
Remember,
because they don't,
Heine,
because they're in Moscow,
they
Idaho.
haven't had a murder in how many
7
years?
years,
They're
7
not
years,
used to
It
it.
was
7 years, 7
7.
years.
7.
Yep.
And even then, the murder was a single murder. And prior
Yeah.
to that, when
Right.
you listen to the log
Yeah.
of what
Totally.
they're pulling in, none of
Right.
these crimes are hair-raising crimes. There may be
Right.
a drug offense. There may be a little, a traffic issue. But they are not accustomed to
Yeah.
dealing with horror. And
Yeah.
I think that the world is looking at them. They're under a microscope. They realize that they have to turn it around. They have to find someone. They are under pressure. The governor gave them $1 million, and I'm sure the pressure is on them with that 1 million. You better get the guy that did it. So,
Oh, well, of
with
course.
all
Yeah, that's what it's for.
this pressure,
Here's $1 million to not get the guy who did it.
well, here's $1 million. Here's graciousness. Go get him. We wish you the best.
Right,
There's
right.
here's
Well,
$1
yeah, and this
million
family, I
in
think, is showing them a lot of graciousness at times too. Quite honestly, I think sometimes the law enforcement in general, and perhaps this segment of law enforcement, is handled with kid gloves.
Well,
I mean,
let
a
me
lot
give
of
you
times.
the insight. Let me give you the insight to what's really happening, Kelly. What's happening is the
In
governor
your
is saying,
opinion,
obviously, in my opinion, I'm sorry, I'm not the governor. In my opinion, and from what I've seen and from what I know,
uh-huh.
here's $1 million, but you better get him. And if you enjoy your position, you will get him.
Well, of course, yeah, because
I
you're
mean,
doing your
this
job
is
well
the
would
kind
be
of
to catch this guy.
this is the kind of stress they're under. They're looking at maintaining their positions. They're looking at being able to continue to ride the ranks and do what they're doing. And they're under immense pressure, and they don't need one father who's emotionally based working with them and underneath them and potentially setting off a fire and undoing
Okay.
what they're trying to achieve.
Well, wait. First of all, they're under a lot of pressure. They're dealing with horrible things. I don't feel sorry for them. This is their job. This is their chosen career path. This is their job. They know what they were signing up for. They know that the material, the content that they might be working with every day is a stabbing with blood leaking through several floors into a foundation of the exterior of the house. They
I'm
know
not
that
disagreeing.
wait. They know that there's going to be a lot of stress involved. It's the nature of law enforcement. And then, as far as I'm dealing with his dad who's working from emotion, of course he is. His daughter was just slain to death with a combat knife, along with her best friend, who was in essence a part of their family since they were 10 years old. Everyone says the families are so close. Maddie was like their daughter as well. Kaylee was like Maddie's family's daughter as well. Of course he's going to be emotional. I guess, I don't, yes, of course he's going to be emotional. Yeah.
I
May I
agree with
interject?
you. If I can just say, my opinion is simply this. I think that for the professional aspect of law enforcement, they need to keep in contact with them. I mean, good grief, this man lost 2 daughters. One, you may as well say he had raised and adopted as his own because she was a single child and spent most of her time with them, traveling all over Europe and growing up together since 5th grade. So he's lost 2 children in this battle. I
Right.
think that he deserves hand-holding, but also on law enforcement side, I don't feel bad for them. I'm not over here sweating tears and crying when I go to bed at night, but I do think that they need to rein him in a little bit. I do think that they need to sort of get him in a position where it's not viewed
He,
as
no,
you do for me, we do for you, you do for. They can't.
I think what they need to be doing is focusing on the fucking investigation. I don't know why we're so concerned about how they're reacting to the dad.
Because they don't need to have a relationship the way he is explaining it, where I'm handing you the lead and then you give me your lead. That's not a professional relationship with the family.
You're right. That's what's happening because they aren't doing their job professionally, apparently.
Exactly. So they've backed him up. And they've brought someone else in. And I'm hoping that whoever they brought in picks up the ball and begins to sort of give a little bit of a break, inserts themselves, and tries to have the relationship with him in the manner in which it's supposed to happen. It is never supposed to be that emotional father should have a part of working with these law enforcement because of his emotional side. Emotional blinds people. I won't even discuss what exactly, but we've had a situation within our own family. You don't want the emotions involved.
No, I mean, if you're law enforcement, you don't. But I just, again, I think the way that you preempt that is to do your job. So let's just
agree.
So in this very same video, hold it. So yes, please, allegedly, go ahead.
So I have 3 short points. 1, never invite friends over when there's a crime scene. Stop cross-contaminating. Very simple. 2, we know from history you don't challenge somebody to come to your home and take you next because the Golden Gate Killer did just that. And number 3, Gregory Worth and anybody else that has followed me or has followed other channels that I spoke in, the moment they mentioned there were 46 FBI agents, I said immediately, oh, maybe it matches an MO to another case. And everybody's like, no, you're stupid. And I said, well, think about the logic. And I've stressed this constantly. You don't have 22 FBI at the location, 22 surrounding in other areas of the location, and 2 profilers. They just never put that in there. So it speaks volumes the moment they said the authority said we have 46 FBI agents working with us. It's a very sensitive topic, but it could match other MOs to other cases that we don't know. And just so
everybody listening knows, I've been hearing this. I thought it was kind of a shocking number. So I've researched, I fact checked. According to all sources, it is, some people have said 46, some people say more than 45. FBI, whatever their title is, FBI working on this case, that is accurate what he's saying, just so y'all know.
Well, if you want to hear a little bit more that goes along with what allegedly is saying, I've had the opportunity to listen to some very good profilers. I won't throw names around, but you can't.
No, please do. I would like to know who the names are. I actually have a profiler video about to come out. Who
is it, Molly?
Yeah. Okay. And who else?
So there's a few others.
Okay.
One of them I don't have to
text me later. I'm just curious. I
don't know if I have the permission to speak because
gotcha.
what I was told was that this situation, what we're hearing is what the media wants us to think is that this is some co-ed kid who was near the grub truck. You've got the big guy and you've got the guy who was watching them, and you've got maybe maybe Kaylee flirted with a boy and he didn't like it, and so on and so forth. But what I was told was that you've got a murderer who was able to overcome a heavily athletic college kid with energy to boot in order for him. And he believes that he came upon him not anticipating it. He didn't anticipate it, but he still won at the end of the day. Number 2.
He didn't know Ethan was going to be there.
Correct. He didn't.
Ethan is like 6'3", and he like people are talking about he played every sport and excelled in sports. And
Yes, and he
his
put them
parents were
all
yeah.
four. Yes, and he put
Uh-huh.
them all four down.
Uh-huh,
Now
yeah.
we know factually that a couple of them that were intoxicated didn't have defensive wounds. We know factually that Xana, as
Yep,
per
did.
her father in the news, this
Yep.
is
Yep,
none of
that's
this
right.
is conjecture.
No, that's right.
Fought her attacker. We know that due to the coroner, and I was able this morning to listen to where the coroner fudged this up by accidentally letting us know that Ethan had been found on the floor, not on the bed, and he also tried to thwart his attacker. We have someone who is very good with a weapon of a military type.
Absolutely. No, I just really quickly want to say about the coroner, and that's something I really a topic we really need to cover, because this coroner is just she is out. I think that she possibly could lose her medical license.
She's a registered nurse.
Oh, okay.
She's a registered nurse, and she has
then she could still lose her medical license. Yeah.
And she has education in criminal sciences.
So it's these people, I guess, whatever.
They hire the coroner to save themselves.
She said way too much. She's given out information that the public shouldn't know. It's up to the It's up to the spokesperson for the investigators to give out that information, which they obviously are not. We've been talking about that for a while. She gave out so much information. Talk about not wanting to deal with an emotional dad of a murder victim. How about not wanting to deal with a coroner who has like the loosest lips in town, is just going to go tell any reporter who asks about it, all about the crime scene and the bodies and where they were and whatever. Okay, I'll tell you all about that. Like, what is she thinking?
Correct. I agree 100%. I also was able to hear.
Wait, hold it. I can't hear you,
about something. If you're interested in going
hopefully
over,
everyone else can hear you. Can you guys hear her? Let's see. Do I have to repair my? Oh wait, hold it.
I've gotten to the bottom.
I can't hear anything right now, just so you know.
You can't hear me?
I don't know. I have it on my Bluetooth. Did I run out of battery? I probably did. Let me keep talking or whatever.
Allegedly, can you hear me?
Earbuds.
Yes, I can. I think her earbuds just went out. Like you said.
Okay. Well, would you be interested in? I did get a chance today to get to the bottom of who it was that was unconscious when the call was made to the police department. Who was unconscious and why it came out that way, instead of, oh my God, why, there's someone here who's deceased and covered in blood. I did get to the bottom of that. I don't know if anybody's interested in hearing it.
Sure.
It made a lot of plausible sense to me. It was reported through 2 news agencies, but I take it with a grain of salt. Law enforcement they have not negated it, but I did find it interesting. I want to wait for her to put her ears in. She is sassy tonight. I love it when she's like this. She'll tell me to shut up if she doesn't want to hear it. Allegedly, do you go over to the Southern Girl side sometimes?
To the what?
The Southern Girls talk. I don't know what to call them. Channels.
I used to be on a lot of panels on a lot of channels. I don't want to go into specific names because I've since left a ton of channels.
Yeah, I thought I saw you in one of them. I recently went into a couple of them, and I had to chuckle because I felt so out of place. When I'm with Kelly, I feel like I'm with a colleague. I'm with my own. But when I go into some of these rooms, they're very Southern. They're run by very Southern women. And it's more of a clique, a certain group of women, typically in a panel, and all they do is talk and conjecture. They're wrong all the time, and it's more like a party. And I don't know. I can't buy into it. I tend to run more towards Kelly, Duty Run, the interview room, places where there's something substantial to put some face behind. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. For me, it was more of a personal decision I had to make, and I'm not going to go into detail because like I said, I don't name the people, places, things, or anything like that. With Kelly, I actually accidentally stumbled upon the channel because I decided to do a full Watts search. And when I found her channel, I was just like, this is definitely a good place to stay.
Yay!
But, you know, it's a lot of these cases recently have gone totally different directions, which makes everything that's been given by law enforcement kind of iffy. And they're not obligated to give the public much information, but in the past, there have been so many pressers in history where they come out and they just start throwing out information, boom, 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 and they keep like a small 5% that only the person that committed the crime would know. And I dislike that they've strayed from that, because you can make people more nervous if people are looking, you know, in a vast amount of people rather than having just a select few.
Well, the other thing is, when you're out there spreading misinformation, you end up causing law enforcement a huge drag behind them in trying to achieve their goal. You're doing a huge disservice to what you're calling justice. You're not helping, you're hurting. So while you're sitting in a clique jibber jabbering about, you know, look at how this girl hugged this boy, therefore, oh, it's jealousy. You know, you can't can't be a 5-year-old taking ideas off of what you're looking on a video. You have to look at the big picture, and you have to look at the people who know what they're doing.
Well, we also have a lot of misinformation that gets thrown around. Like, for example, when this case first hit, somebody went online and posted, "Oh, I'm the roommate and I found them and they were bound and gagged."
Correct, but look where it came from.
That
Got to plug in my computer. Oops.
Tell us when you're back. So
welcome back. We have just had nothing to talk about this whole time.
And if you believe that, are you back, Kels?
She's plugging in, I think.
There we go.
Hey, welcome back. We missed you.
We were just talking about what a hot mama you are and how we just love
Oh.
being here with you.
Don't replay anything that you missed at all.
Hold
because
it. Wait. I got something else playing. Just 1 second. Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry guys. Sorry about that. Hey.
Perfect.
Hi,
Welcome back.
Hi, thanks.
Don't listen to the replay because you'll tell us to go away.
Oh no.
Never.
You were about to say I'll lose it.
Now, before you were gone, where were we at?
Oh boy, I can't wait to listen to that replay. I don't remember. But go ahead. Can you talk about whatever you want?
We had just gotten done talking about, I gave my 3 points. 1, stop cross-contaminating crime scenes. Don't invite friends over.
2, your quick points. It only took 10 minutes. Gotcha. Go ahead.
I wanted to share with you about, there's a big question right now.
Okay.
There's a huge question right now because law enforcement is reporting that someone called and said someone is unconscious, send 911.
Right.
So I got the scoop today.
Okay. Oh, good. Because I need that. I want that scoop.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to look it up on the net and see if I can find the headline that it came under. But it sounded reasonable. But I'm going to tell you right now, until I find that news article, do not take everything I say as verbatim, but rather with some salt. And
thank you, because that's what we do here at WhatsApp Session. We're clear about when we are theorizing and clear about when we are telling you the facts, because we find the facts because we do the work. Go ahead.
I heard this from a news source, but we cannot always trust the news source because look at Mark Furman.
Right.
Mark Furman threw us for a wing or two, and I'm not even going to go there because I think that he's a bit of a dick. Pardon my French. So what had happened was the girls, we know again factually that the girls did hear something and they got up and they locked their doors. That's all we know. We know that when they we know for, again, factually, we know that Bethany was on her phone at 3:30. We know that because of a ping. Got it off of a news source. We know that. We know they were hearing things. We know they
Wait, hold it. How did a news source get a hold of Bethany's phone records?
Apparently from law enforcement, and it had to do with her phone ping.
No, I don't believe that law enforcement is doling out phone records to find pings to anyone right now. But okay, go ahead.
I don't know. They've been under
And it's
a
nothing
lot
against.
of.
No, there's no way. There's no way. It's
They
nothing
have
against
been
you, but
under a
there's no
lot
way.
of consternation about this whole 911 call. So I'm going to leave it to, let's wait and see what law enforcement says. And I'll tell you why I'm not willing to throw it away. Just hear me out. Law enforcement has been very good at coming out and saying, this is not true. This is not true. Stop looking at the guy who was following the girls home to make sure they were safe. He's cleared for now. Stop looking at the big chubby guy for this, that, and the other. They've been very good at coming out and undoing the untruths. They haven't touched this one today, and I've been watching closely. What I heard was that the girls they tried calling the two girls and could not reach them, which is highly abnormal. Apparently Kaylee is 1-1 with her phone. So they reached out to their friends. The friends came over. And when the friends came over, they were seeing the scene. They were horrified. The girls then came out of their room. And when one of the girls saw Eason, apparently she fainted. They took her outside because they couldn't get her to come to. They called 911 and said she's outside, she's unconscious, and we can't get her. And they did come. They did bring her.
Talking about one of the people that was observing the crime scene.
It was the roommate who fainted and lost consciousness. So so no one's, and I think it sounds plausible. You have to have a little bit of,
that sounds plausible, but how did we get there is because a news source was given phone records, which sometimes can't even be obtained, by the way, by law enforcement, has given a news source phone records 2 weeks after the murders. There's no fucking way that's happening.
We have someone who is accessing news phone sources and turning them over. And I think that family has been a little bit too loose-lipped. I'm not
that Kaylee's phone, but not the surviving roommate's phone.
He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that we broke in and we only got Kaylee's information. He doesn't say that at all. He says we helped him and we broke in.
No, I'm pretty sure. I feel, in my opinion, it's pretty clear that he's just talking about.
I don't believe that. Only part I believe that is when he says we have some shared passwords, but that
Kelly is on her mom's account. Kelly,
wait a minute, when he separates into two areas. One, we broke in, which no one can do, and then he says we also have passwords within the family that we can, open up X, Y, and Z.
And he also says, without the police, I'm doomed. We're all doomed. He has a very strange use of vocabulary in his statements that he makes with on camera, and that's the way he is, or due to the amount of stress and emotional.
I think that's what it is. I think that he's feeling stuck, that without them they're never going to get this person who killed his child. I think that he's feeling, I don't want to screw this up. I want to aid these people. I want them. The only reason he's sitting down and being quiet is because he wants them to find. He said, I can't grieve until this is over.
No, and I don't blame him. And wait, I just want to read a couple of comments here. So Becky Blue says law enforcement needs to get a handle on this. Yes. Caleb Lee says law enforcement just needs to do their job. Yes. And that's all and my point. And again, it's not you, Yarn and Mittens, like that. I'm like, trying to, debate or pick this point apart to a fine degree. That's just like way too much. But it's just, I think from what I see, law enforcement is being lazy, they're being slow, they're being haphazard, they're being like touch and go, they're being not what they should be to fulfill their professional obligations, or just, you know, their human obligations, or their obligations as somebody who shows up to work every day and does a pretty good job. I don't think that they are hitting that mark. And so I think their focus needs to be doing their job and not being concerned about all of the extras, doing their job, communicating with the victims' families, because that is something that they are taught to do. I was talking to my cousin, not even in this case, but it was whatever. But I could ask him again about this case. I'm sure I'll get the same answer. He's been a New York State police detective for 27 years. And yes, it is absolutely part of their job to keep that constant communication. They're trained to do that. It's a whole, dealing with not just the crime scene, but the victimology and the family of the victims and the relationships with the community and the connections with police are trained to do all of that as well. So not only are they slopping it up as far as not collecting 103 samples for 4 slain victims with multiple stab wounds.
4,000 photos.
Yeah, 4,000 photos. I like that. Yes, but they're clearly, when they mention the photos separately, talking about pieces of information that are not photos with 103. And the 103, if you compare it to other cases, is not a lot. And but they need to be doing all of that, and then they're also slopping up the part of their job that doesn't even have to do with the victimology or processing the crime scene or seeing terrible things, making a phone call to the families. They're messing that up too.
Can I inject one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that puts my panties in a wad, if you will, is this issue. Aaron on the right side of caution mentioned the wife who was recently arrested. I have a protective place in my heart for Xana's mother. We don't know her story. We don't know her life. She had 10 counts against her for drug abuse. She was out, I would assume, trying to deal with her addiction. And she was put back in again days after the death of her daughter. There's no way for us to know. We can only assume that the death of her daughter may have caused her addiction to just tank. And that may be what happened.
What are you talking about?
Xana's mother.
Oh, okay.
Aaron mentioned the mother who'd been in prison, and I just want to say to that, I don't really like talking about Xana's mother. I don't like putting.
Well, I didn't even know any of this till you just said it on my channel. So thank you if you don't like talking about her. I seriously didn't. I didn't have any idea of it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of channels right now that are.
That stuff. I'm concerned about the investigation and finding the bastard who committed this horrific crime.
I brought it up because it was brought up in chat, and I wanted to cut it off before it grew legs. Because a lot of other channels are given the spiel about the mother this and the mother that, and I don't think it's fair. We don't know the story. Her daughter died.
Good, then let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about that. You're retelling the story that I don't even know, and I bet a lot of the viewers don't. So I don't. If we don't want to talk about it,
they do know it, or they wouldn't have posted it. I was telling it more for you because you hadn't known. But we can.
I do have a point I want to make about what Kelly said. I agree 100% that the police should be in communication. I've watched countless documentaries that had cold cases where the primary detective, even after he retired, would still be in communication with the families, and then when the case, caught ground, they would come back. They would request reinstatement because they want to be the person to arrest them. So police not communicating, even just to say, like you said, we are still working on the case. We have no new leads. I just want to keep you up to date. That is something they should be doing every day or every other day.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. Wait, Ellie Smith, did you mean stop going down the rabbit hole about Xana's mom? Is that what you meant? I agree. And I will tell all channels out there, they're doing that with Xana's mom. You bunch of cruel bitches and bastards. Just stop it. She doesn't need that right now. Her daughter was just slain to death and she fought back and she knows that. So stop. Sorry, allegedly.
No, I'm proud of you. That's what everyone needs to hear.
Yeah,
you're sticking up for the right people. It needs to be done, and people need to hear it. You know, no one can speak for another person who's at a disadvantage. They don't know what happened to them. They don't know what their reality is. And I have lost 2 children. I have held them when they had passed. If you have not ever experienced it, you wouldn't ever understand what it is like.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. It's terrible. Yeah, absolutely. And there's, a very, a club you don't ever want to be in is the group of parents that do know what that feels like. Yeah. My God. Oh, you're in Admittance. We love you. Yeah. So yeah, and that is something to think about, and that's what that just with dealing with the parents of parents who have children who have died. You as a parent, we all know that is the most unnatural, fucked up thing that every parent never wants to experience, right? But and also, is a subgroup of that is parents of people that were murdered. I mean, that's, I guess, yeah. So just all you channels and people out there who are doing this right now, there's really nothing that pisses me off more than that. That's how my whole conflict with Dave started, because he started accusing Sandy Rusick of calling a hit on Shanann. I mean, come on, dude. What is your fucking problem? So yeah, let's not cause the parents more pain and suffering.
Kelly, whatever you are on
enough.
tonight, I want you to take it every night you're
I'm
on.
I'm on lemon potato chips.
Well, we need more. I just love you like this.
Thank you. Why, thank you. And Caleb Lee, you're welcome to come up. Let me put the link in chat.
A little bit of adult going back and forth and leaving everybody the right to have an opinion, discuss it equally, coming to an agreement, and at the end of the day, providing justice for the people that need it and not beating up the people that are bleeding right now.
Exactly. My God, I know. It's like I feel like, okay, we're true crime channels, whatever. So you think that the people, they want drama. So you're going to make the drama even if there's no drama exists. So there is no drama in the investigation. So you're going to find the drama about the family and the extended family. And if you can't find drama there, you're going to make drama with other creators, and you're going to just keep manufacturing that drama. Oh my God, just stop.
I sat for an hour one night because I was sick and had nothing else to do. I was not feeling well. And I sat for an hour and watched how the 2 girls stumbled drunkenly, and how and all of the judgments upon that. And I ended up deciding, what am I going to do? Am I going to join this and be a part of it, or walk away from it? I walked away from it.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's important about the Grub Truck video is it solidifies the timeline. And once again, thank you so much, Olivia, for being a wonderful human being, one sharp, badass chick, and a really great sister, for finding that even exists and putting it out there so everyone can understand that the timeline she put forth is corroborated and solidified. And it is, well, if it's solidified, it's solid. Whereas law enforcement wasn't. And I think that was really brave for her to do that. So I think the Grub Truck video serves as an anchoring point, in the timeline.
Can I answer Aaron?
Yes, you may. And then we're gonna let allegedly speak. We're gonna take the gag off the man.
And for how long?
I don't know. He likes to talk, so maybe we might have to limit.
You reach in there and take it out, and I'll put it back.
Okay.
I'm actually just reflecting on what you guys are saying. So everything I said is all caught up until now.
Until now. All right, Aaron. So talking about Xana's mother in regards to her arrest, the connection with possible organized crime, I can tell you factually from the interview room, which had 2 of the world's leading from quantum FBI.
Guantanamo.
Well, sorry. Yes, Guantanamo. Thank you. Where did I get quantum from? Lupus at its best. So they always inserts words that don't belong there. Cognitive issues show up all the time. Everybody, forgive me. So he had two of them on, and he actually answered this. And he said that in order for this to be an organized crime hit that would have anything to do with the potential of Xana's mother's situation, they don't hit like this. They don't come in and hit with knives. They don't come in with passionate killings. If they're going to do this, they're going to do it because they have a message to tell. They're going to come in with a gun.
And it's execution style. I mean, that's how
Yes,
it's.
they're going to come in with a gun. They're going to execute, and then
they're not going to make a slapping mess so they can put their DNA and connections back to their group all over the place, because that's really stupid.
Correct. And he said this is absolutely nothing to do with that. Put it to bed. Leave the woman alone. Let her grieve and leave her alone.
Yeah. So leave her alone, everybody. Or you're going to have me to deal with. I don't know what I'm going to do about it.
And I'll be right behind you.
There you go. And then allegedly, what do you think? Oh, wait, hold it. Wait. Oh, no, go ahead, allegedly. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. So.
And I see you, Caleb. I'm going to get you next.
With the description of what they've said so far, it's bloodlust, in my opinion. It's something that somebody wanted to be in and a part of, and not to sound overly gross, but bathe in. Like, there have been cases in the past where people have done so. And the unfortunate truth is we don't know who it was, who they were. Both can be put in equally. But it doesn't seem like it's messy to me. Unless they show me unless we all get to see the crime scene photos, it doesn't sound messy. It sounds meticulous. But that's.
Are you talking about the sloppy word they used?
Yeah, I just don't feel that way. Like we've pointed out earlier, they aren't accustomed to things like this. So
I mean, how meticulous do you really get with a combat style knife and 4 victims and 2 that fight back? I mean, it doesn't get that
Let's talk
clean.
about blood for a second. Every human,
but not like in too much detail. Okay, like when you talk about like that, YouTube likes to talk about blood like that. Go ahead. If you can tell us like the components of blood, that would be good.
Every human being
wondering
has
how they
10
didn't walk
pints
out
of blood within their body.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah.
You unsurvived 4 people. Now we have 10 pints of blood. There are 8 pints to a gallon. Okay.
Right.
So 4 times 8 is 4 gallons of blood.
Right.
Correct. But we have.
And then the remainder brings us to 5. So yes.
Correct.
5 gallons of blood.
Now, if anybody is able to imagine those water jugs dispensers where you go and you get
putting
water.
my fingers in my ear.
Okay, if you go get water from the dispenser, the water jug is a 5-gallon jug. Take that 5-gallon jug and you have a grand idea of what has just been spattered all over a home. So I agree with you in regards to sloppiness. I don't think it's an issue if he went in and did finger painting. I think the nature of the murder in and of itself contributed to what would appear to be sloppy work, because there's blood everywhere. It has to go somewhere. Think about the scientific part of when
all of them are going to bleed out. They were there for approximately 7 hours. They were bled out, all of them.
Exactly. But how do you leave?
They all had wounds to the chest or neck, all of them. They're all going to bleed out. So this is maximum amount of blood for 4 people. It's not
just walking away and I can't hear her.
Yeah.
I'm just curious on how you walk out of something like that without leaving a trail.
That's the question I was trying to get to from Caleb.
Well, did you hear about the glove that they just found?
Well, wait a minute. Hold it. One thing at a time. Just a sec. So the person leaving this crime scene, I think that, you don't have to have any level of expertise about anything to know that they are going to have a significant amount of blood on them. There's no way that they would not. We know what happens to blood when there's blood splatter. What is the term? There's blood splatter. Blood just splatter. If somebody is being injured in their neck or chest with a bleed of that length and What would the other measurement be across the width? I don't know how you measure width. There's going to be blood splatter. There's no way that person wasn't covered. Yeah, exactly. So how did that? I know. I was thinking about that. I've thought about that. Well, I think about that a lot, actually. It's one of the things I stay up late at night with. The other thing that keeps me awake is not like that I'm afraid somebody's going to walk in and start stabbing me in the night. Every single night, I start thinking about what those 4 kids went through, and I can't stand it.
I don't think that the first 2 girls knew a whole hell of a lot, because if you do watch the Grub Truck, they were
Yes, we know. Yes, they were. Yes.
So I'll tell you, that brings me to some level of peace, because they didn't experience as much of the horror that
Well, I mean, we don't know. You're telling yourself that they didn't, but we don't know really. I mean,
you're incapacitated by being in a deep drunken stupor. You are not going to be as fully aware of what is happening around you.
We don't know if they were in a deep drunken stupor. Yes, they were. I thought we didn't want to talk about the Grub Truck video and how they were acting and stuff.
You're so far away that I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. I'm peeking around. Sorry. Gotta get back to the microphone. Sorry. Here it comes. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Okay. So, and Christmas bells. Okay. So again, I just want to, and especially, with this case, I have like the honor of being able to discuss it with people from the beginning. For the most part, I was following it like a crazy person from day one. And I just want to be because so many other people are being so imprecise, I just want to be very precise with what I put on this channel. We don't know that they were in a drunken stupor, therefore experiencing drunken stupor sleep. By the way, I haven't even, I'll have a glass of wine like on Thanksgiving and Christmas because my mother pressures me into drinking wine on holidays. But when I used to go out to bars and drink a lot, like in my early 20s, I slept like shit if I was drunk. I couldn't sleep. I was very restless. Every single time I got hiccups, but they were like super uncomfortable hiccups. I don't even want to go into all of those details because you don't need to know about my drunken hiccups. But we don't know that because it appears that they had a lot to drink, that they went home and they were in a drunken stupor, so they slept soundly. We do not know that. Okay. But it's very possible, but we and it is good to think, that I would love to think that. I would love to know that as compared to they were hyper aware of what was going on.
But we have to look at the facts too, and the facts are supported that they didn't have defensive wounds. The only way someone is not, listen, it is normal and natural when something comes at your face. Just think about going for a walk and a bee flies.
No, I know, we get it. Yeah.
So you're going to put your hands up. You're going to block. You're going to do what you can because the body fights in order to survive.
Right. So yes, I know, but
obviously, in some way, they were incapacitated. He did not tie them up, and he did not gag them.
So I don't. But okay. So very good. They didn't have defensive wounds. We do know that, but I don't think. I don't want to talk about the exact the moment. Anyway, because YouTube doesn't like that, so we just need to get away from the topic altogether.
But didn't they make?
I've been getting dinged.
That's all.
Weren't they making coherent text messages to somebody during that time?
Yeah, yes, and several of them for a long period.
Well, how do we know they were coherent? How do we know that they were text legible?
No. Well, I guess we don't know that they were coherent. That's
true. I had to text drunk, I'm good luck.
Well. We know this is what we know. Hold it. Wait, let's go back. You guys can chat about something for a minute. I want to at least round this off and end this with what we do know about those moments in the phone call.
I've got something to talk about. Has anybody in chat heard about the glove that was discovered? It was discovered by a retired detective. He has an entire podcast about the discovery. He has a camera about it. He calls cops in to come and get it because the glove was still within the area that was contained and explicitly only for law enforcement. So they
Could
came
you
out.
please tell us what this channel is or who this guy is so everyone can check it out for themselves?
Sure, the interview room.
Okay, cool.
The interview room is run by a retired detective, and he's hired out all over
Cool.
internationally. He's worked again. He was trained by FBI's
Very cool. Very cool.
It's Chris
profiler.
McDonough, right?
Yes.
He was the same guy who was
that's
Yes.
part
right.
of Jean Benet Ramsey's
Yes, and
cross-examinations.
Yes.
You know
He's
what he
on a lot of
does?
famous documentary or a lot of documentaries and stuff. Yeah.
He takes his for a vacation over Thanksgiving. He and his wife, who is
Very good channel, by the way. Everyone go check it out if you're not already subscribed.
The interview room. His wife, who was some sort of criminal journalist, went with him, and they take you for a ride. They take you there so you can see juxtaposition where everything is. You actually get eyes on the ground, and I'll tell you what, I understand the case 1,000 times better now than I did before. It also shows you an area where
they have a really good view of the house.
Right, but they also show you there's an area for a voyeur. Outside the windows, the screen has been
That's
pulled
what I was
out.
talking about.
There's a seat with a cushion, and he goes on to explain girls and how girls barbecue. The barbecue doesn't look as though it's used frequently. Girls are not ones to go out and sit by the barbecue and relax. They're not. Men and women are very different in the way they do things. And the window it was sitting in was in one where they would never be noticed because the area behind is very treed and dark. They didn't have any lights, and they would never have been seen on the inside. So the whole case, the whole conversation went over. He brought in 2 other men that were from Quantico, and they said that it was called a DLR, does not look right, and has high capacity to be from a voyeur. So I don't believe, I want to know what you will think. I don't believe that we're looking for a colleague to these kids, a college boy. I think we're looking for somebody a little older than that, somebody who lives there, somebody who travels and who has done this either in the military or he's done this before to someone. His ability with that knife is just...
And he had to have confidence in it to walk into a house that I have no doubt he knew was going to have, I don't know if he thought there was more than one. He knew there was at least 3 people in there, in my opinion. He probably knew exactly who lived in there. So to walk into a house of multiple persons, regardless of what gender they are, with neighbors in such close proximity, the houses next to one another can very easily hear the noises from inside their neighbor house and their neighbors a couple houses down house. It was not a secluded area. It was like, yes, there was that little spot where he could hide, but as far as noise and sound goes, you are not out of reach of your neighbors by any means. So anyway, what that tells us is that he had to have a high degree of confidence that he, in his ability to use the knife, and that he was going to walk out of that house having won whatever fight ensued. And there's no doubt in my mind that he knows enough about knives and enough about fighting and enough about violence that he understands there is a very high degree of unpredictability once confrontation occurs. And he still did it this way by choice.
These killers have low self-esteem. So where did that come from? It had to have been built. It had to have been built up, and it didn't happen the first time.
Well, also the person would have had to know that nobody else would be coming in after the 2, because that would just be very weird doing what you're doing and having somebody come walking in the door and getting caught.
I also don't believe that he was in there lying waiting, because I think that Ethan was a surprise. And if he'd been in the house, he would not have been surprised by him. I think he went in expecting 5 girls. And I think he planned to kill all 5 girls. And after Ethan, I think things got thrown.
He got spooked, or hurt.
And he got hurt. He may have been hurt by him. And then he probably was. We believe that there's a potential that Ethan went first and Xana went. And by then he could have been spooked, because depending on egress,
Mhm.
We don't know. Did the girls downstairs open the door, look out, close it, and lock it? Did he see them? Did that scare him off
Right.
and make him leave?
Right.
I
Or did he
think
check the
things
doorknob and it was locked and said, "Okay, I can't go in there now because
Oh my
people will
God, and they
hear it."
saved their lives. Yeah.
correct. I
And
think that let me just tell you my opinion. That's all it is. I believe that Eason is a savior in a way. I
Yeah.
think he saved those two girls.
about
Yeah.
CODIS, because
Yeah.
I see everybody talking about DNA. The
Yeah.
thing about CODIS is if you're in the system, then they'll get a match. And there are
Right.
not the majority of the United States isn't in it. So you
And
willingly can give
good.
it. You can willingly give it, but
Mhm.
Well, they're
for
going to use ancestry.
Murderers generally don't do that.
Right.
Right. They're gonna use the genetic DNA. They're gonna use the genetic DNA profiling as well, which scientists are gaining immense grounds on that. Literally, I believe it appears to be. I think that they would likely agree with the statement too. Every single day, the science and reliability and accessibility behind genetic DNA profiling to find murders is absolutely amazing.
Well, they're looking at familial genetics. They're looking
Yeah, no, that's
for
what that is. Yeah.
correct 23andMe, those such.
Yeah. 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 So be careful when you want to find out what your I don't know, origins in the world and
I
ethnicity,
stay
whatever.
away from that stuff.
I know you might be diming out your Uncle Joey. I don't know, or
Well,
something.
I think they're doing something else with it, and this is not the podcast
Yeah,
for
I
that.
know. Yeah, no,
well,
I know.
yeah, I think one of the earliest cases was the Golden Gate Killer, but there was also
That's
the
right.
woman who was a cop, and
Yep.
they
Stephanie Lazarus.
yes, they had just
Mhm.
passed the thing where you have to submit
Super weird
DNA, and
shit.
then
Yeah.
boom, she got caught.
She's terrible. Yes, eternal bliss. Nothing good comes from drinking. Sorry, I just saw that. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. But what was I gonna say? Oh, about the profiling. Yeah, whatever. I agree with everything you just said about the profile. I have to put that out, or maybe I'll send it to you first before I put in a video. See what you think. Both of you. Oh, I forgot I have a task at hand here. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear
I'm
myself.
afraid about any
Yes,
other
ma'am,
can of
we can hear
worms
you.
to open.
Yeah, you gotta watch your can of worms. YouTube's been up my butt lately. Like it's been pretty intense. True.
We
Oh wait,
missed
there's
you last night.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, well, YouTube didn't miss me. You guys missed me. I mean, YouTube has been dinging my videos because they don't like the word choices we have.
Well, if there
Or
are
I
words
have.
that we need to watch, I've been trying to do the whole unalive. If there are words that you know that I'm saying, tell me. I'll restructure them.
YouTube doesn't like. I mean, here's the thing with YouTube. They have to when you consent to a video, like I'll tell you exactly what it says. Well, I'm not. Hold on. I'm looking up something about the case now. I'll send it to you later. But we at true crime. Every video about true crime breaks some of these rules, but it's rather arbitrary when they actually decide to ding you. But what I found with them is like once you're on your radar, they keep coming after you. So I just have to be extra careful now because I worked too hard on this channel. I love all you guys too much, and you guys have all worked too hard and been part of this community for too long for them to like do something terrible to watch the obsession.
Can I throw this in here? I know it's not the topic for tonight, but it's something that really made my heart happy. The results came in from the FBI today that Quentin Simon's bones matched. I was so happy. I was so happy.
Yeah,
it wasn't all for nothing. They have him in a small coffin. He gets to be put to rest in a beautiful place. And he gets to be where he'll never know pain again. And that is beautiful. And his mother can rot for.
Yeah, she can rot. Yeah, she's a. Can somebody start bleeping me now and stop in about 30 seconds? That's
I just quit.
Yeah. That's freaking yes. That's good. I mean, he needs to. Sweet little angel needs to rest in peace. What a precious little soul. I mean, talk about the unthinkable. Man, that's absolutely unthinkable. I hope she gets it real good in prison.
Well, it makes me feel good. That this is why we do the things that we do. You put it out there, enough pressure comes out. Now, I did not like what happened to the true crime community during all of this, and I turned it off. But in the end of the day, they found him. He's been set free. She's where she needs to be. And it gives you a feeling of you've been part of something where you gave back. And
Yeah,
it wasn't
absolutely.
necessarily me or her or he. It was a collective body of people working together to get it out there. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why we at Watch the Obsession support other creators covering true crime because, hey, why not, man? Hopefully, and I don't support those who are about anything other than justice or some other good thing. Like, all you bullshitters out there, I don't be supporting you. Don't you worry. But anyone who has like a good, a good vibe behind their channel, absolutely. Say their name. Put it in chat. It's cool. I want you guys to watch them also. Yay. Like, I don't understand when people
Mama. She is hot tonight.
I don't understand when people are so like possessive about their channel. It's like there is an infinite amount of views available. What do you think you're going to hoard them all for yourself? And if so, what are you going to do with them?
Have you been locked up with Pride and Prejudice for a week or something?
Huh?
Have you been locked up with Pride and Prejudice?
No, I haven't. I haven't watched Pride and Prejudice in a very, very, very long time.
No, I'm thinking about your fiance.
Oh, Pride or Honesty.
Oh, whoops. Got that backwards.
Pride or Honesty is a subscriber to the channel. I also made him a moderator at some point because I just had to have him. But
yes. I want to meet him. Make him come on.
I don't know. He lives. Oh no, he's never come on a live stream. Nope. He's like, he refuses.
Oh, but we'd be so good to him.
Pride or Honesty, are you here? He likes to lurk.
Come on, a bunch of beautiful women.
That's right.
The dark, swarthy type and the long, blonde, fair-haired type. Yeah. How can you go wrong?
The other day, it was like, I don't know. I was, of course, late starting a live stream. He's like, are you going to be late to our wedding? I'm like, obviously, yes.
I can't help it, but I think that might just be true. Oh, boy.
She has good intentions. I do. It's like usually like I don't know.
Hey, can I complain a moment? We have a mouse in our house. God help me.
Oh no. Oh God. That's not fun.
We've got one out of the basement, and now I have one in my bedroom. But I saw it this morning at 6 a.m. and it had a tail like a squirrel. How do you get a squirrel in your bedroom?
Yeah, honey. If it has a tail like a squirrel, it's not a mouse.
Well, I kind of figured that out, but I can't see it. It's 6 a.m. It's dark. The one in the basement was definitely a mouse. We caught him with a trap. It was a good trap. It didn't. I don't want to talk about it. But the one that looks like a squirrel, I just don't understand how they're getting in.
I was just thinking about telling this on the live stream. I can't though. We have to talk privately soon, like after this or tomorrow morning. I have a story for you.
Okay.
And it's just related to that. So
I also want to talk about, maybe we can ask chat. I really want to get into the Watts issue with Shanann and lupus, and not strictly whether or not she had it, but how lupus would have affected her behavior, and the drugs that she took would have affected her behavior.
I know, but that's listen, I'll just be honest about that. So Yarna Mittens has lupus. I have lupus. We have for real lupus. We really have lupus. So, to me, it's kind of all a moot point. And at some point, it's just because it would be almost like insincere content for me, because I will just tell you guys, and I've said this before, I don't believe Shanann had lupus. And the reason is, if you have lupus, you know that you get to know lupus really well, really quick, right? And I didn't know a single person who had lupus before I was diagnosed with lupus, except for my grandmother, who lived to be 97 years old. God bless her heart. She died during coronavirus, which was terrible. She was my best friend. And I didn't even realize, I forgot that she had lupus because she had so many conditions throughout her life that she overcame. She was amazing. So anyway, I got met other people that have lupus, like Yarn and Mittens, and a ton of people on this channel. There's a little sub community of What's the Obsession of people who live with lupus. Anyway, I don't see any indication that she actually had lupus. And the biggest indicator for me is the way she did her Facebook lives and the way she just described and exemplified through videos her activity, peddling her MLM, whether it was all talk or she was actually trying to put some work into it. It was a lot of energy output and time consumption. There was no time for her to have a flare up. And of all the wonderful people I've had the opportunity to meet with lupus, I don't know a single one that doesn't ever have a flare up, or who doesn't have a flare up, or maybe they have it chronically and every single day they struggle because of lupus. But
And
those
they
who are
look
fortunate,
beautiful. And they look beautiful. When I get a malar rash,
yeah.
it's
It's
obvious.
amazing. I know. It's wonderful. Yeah. That's when we don't turn our cameras on.
It looks like the sun kissed me about 2 minutes, about 2 miles away from my face.
Nearly everyone with lupus gets it. But the people that I know who don't have lupus in a way where, I mean, yes, it affects me every day, but I'm somebody who has flare-ups, you could say. And I think that I manage my symptoms pretty well right now, but she didn't have any of that. And I just don't find it to be possible. So Yarn and Mittens, and I was interested in the, Shanann and lupus topic for a while, but I'm like, that's my ultimate conclusion. And I'm pretty firm on in my head what was up with her. And so I feel like it would almost be, for this channel, I feel like it would almost be like insincere content to say.
But I don't want to discuss whether or not she had lupus. What I want to discuss is medication and the effects of the medication on her behavior and the displays of those behaviors.
But I don't think she took that medication.
Yes,
so I don't.
Hear me out on one thing. I'll give you a small example. Okay. When she's at her in-laws' house and she's outside in the backyard and she's taking photos, and she had a grand time. She was doing beautifully. And then all of a sudden she turned on a dime and the whole thing happened with the ice cream. What I wanted to explain was her behaviors, the way she was behaving, actually makes sense when you understand how she was treating her lupus. She was taking narcotics. Right. She was taking narcotics. She wasn't taking the Plaquenils and all the drugs used to bring the disease under control, but she was taking narcotics. No doctor worth their education is going to treat a lupus patient with solely oxycodone. But oxycodone does have a way of affecting how we behave. We can, when we're on oxycodone and when you pull off of it, and I think a lot of the behaviors that she was displaying were an example of the addiction she had developed that they talk about after her neck surgery. And I think that is an important part of the story because
I think I think that she had those same mood swings before her neck surgery, and she may or may not have developed an addiction, but I don't want to go there on this channel at all, and YouTube is going to hate me for that. So we're going to stay away from Shanann and addiction and whatever.
So let me ask you this. If the end goal was to free her from consternation about her behavior by explaining that she had a problem and may not have been in control of
I have seen no evidence that she has an opiate addiction. I've heard people talk about it. I have seen no concrete evidence, and I don't want to go. I just don't feel comfortable going there. I have no interest in going there. I just don't want to.
I'm not going to go there with you then. I hear what you're saying, but for somebody to be storing that kind of medication, they're doing something with it, dear.
Yeah, I know, but how do you know how she stored? We'll talk about
this. She wasn't selling it. We know for a fact she had a hoard of it. We know that from all the videos.
How do we know that from the videos? Please show me the videos where you can see that, and then I will talk about it.
AD has shown them millions.
Oh my God, AD also no, I don't. I'm sorry on this matter. I don't find him to be the reliable source. I do not. I'm sorry, I do not.
All right.
So it's nothing against you, but
the police
you know.
were down there pulling it out and talking about it, showing the asthma medication.
No, yeah, but not opiates. Nobody was talking about opiates except for Chris Watts trying to either kill Shanann or make her miscarry.
No, they came up when they were down in the basement. I'd have to go search it out for you, but they came up
please
out
do
of the
search it
basement.
out because and I have the original body cam videos. I also believe very possibly that somebody could have doctored that to make it more interesting because they were running out of content.
Okay.
I just don't if I can find that timestamp on the original videos.
Well, let me ask you why. So you're saying that she didn't actually have them?
I don't know. I'm sure she did. She had neck surgery. Of course she did. But I don't know. I don't know any reason to believe that she had quantities of that.
Okay, I hear you. Okay.
And
well,
you know,
it's up to you. I'll follow whatever you want.
No, we'll just no, it's cool. Hi Anaphylaxis, honey. How are you? I just saw her. And Green Eyes, how are you doing? Sorry. And Trinity, how are you doing as well? Nice to see you guys here. Yeah, we'll talk about it on the phone sometime. Because I don't want, because that's exactly, I don't want to go somewhere where like, well, yes, I always love supporting other creators. There's saying that, I guess, comes with this predicament I put myself in when you say, oh, well, it's going to be this channel. And I feel really strongly if that channel put out that information that they were bullshitting, I don't want to have to say that. So,
I think that what is pushing me towards it is as someone who unfortunately has little time left because of my lupus, because of the destruction it's done to my organs and everything that I've been through. I'm the worst in our entire hospital at the moment because of what it's done to me, and wanting people to understand lupus and what it can do and what you're looking at. It just incenses me that
I'm so sorry, and I care about you very much. I'm so sorry that you're in that situation, but how does showing that Shanann Watts had some kind of addiction help that?
Because when you go through all of the clips and you keep hearing, oh, well, she was in so much pain. Oh, well, she has lupus. And there's all this. It aggravates me because that's not the face of lupus, and it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. But I don't think
lupus does not cause the type of dramatic behavior that was seen.
No, it's not.
And
No,
that's, I guess that's, to me, it's offensive, and maybe that's a personal thing and it doesn't belong on there. But at the same time, a lot of people do believe she has lupus, and it would be good to educate people. What is lupus? What does it look like? And what is it capable of doing to people? But if you don't feel that there's a place for that, then I respect you and I support you, and I'm going to listen to you because I love you.
I think all about educating people about lupus. I think it's a great idea. Sometimes I get sick of the topic personally because I'm so fucking sick of lupus, but that's just because it's living in me all the time. Seriously, you'd be sick of it too. Trust me. And I know,
I do know.
But, I mean, and I do think that's important. I do think it's important for people to have an understanding of the dynamics that were going on in the Watts house. And this is just how I've kind of like boiled it down. And I've had to decide what I was going to discount, what I was going to throw out, what I was just I wasn't going to go there with Shanann, because in order to tell the story as I see it, and as, I put out some videos recently, like with Nutgate, as I know it to be, and I have for a while, it already sometimes even feels for me a little uncomfortable because the poor woman was murdered, and it does feel a little uncomfortable for me. It just does. I feel for her. I feel for her family, and it feels a little uncomfortable. But then there's also the pushback that gets me. There's also the lashing out from YouTube, the company, and Google that I get is a channel. So I can't just go like, freaking balls to the wall and Shanann and a lupus and addiction and faking. Here's the deal with Shanann. Shanann had a mood disorder. Shanann had some traumas and some, I don't know, like bad experiences, got her a little screwed up from childhood. She was growing up, maybe from adulthood, like most of us do, honey. I know. You're like, I got that too. I know, me too. But people either choose to work through their problems in a certain way. And they usually then, once you make that decision, you usually do work through your problems, right? And you feel some kind of freedom towards not having those problems be so heavy. Or Or maybe you're one of these people, or maybe you know them. You choose to not work through your problems. You choose to continue to, and then your problems cause more problems, because like that's what problems do. And they're like bunnies, they multiply. And so then one way of dealing with it. So now we're branching off into the dysfunctional ways of dealing with problem pyramid scheme, is to make up stories that will help bridge a person's observation of you and the perception you want them to have of you. Oh my God, these two things are completely non-congruent. What do? I'll make up a story that'll make them fit together. And that's what Shanann did. Shanann had, I think she needed some therapy and other things. And, you know, I feel bad for her. I think that like her poor behavior comes from a place of intense pain. I also strongly believe she had a mood disorder, and I don't think that she dealt with it. So what do we see? We see the Shanann Watts that we see in those videos and the stories, and, you know, and it's really just like, you know, this far into the channel and researching that and talking about it like crazy. I just hit 5 million views the other day. A lot of them are about Shanann's problems. You know, a lot of them are, because it's something I started talking about a lot, because I think it's important for people to understand when you see persons and families in crisis, because that's where Shanann was, and that's where the Watts family was. And I don't think a lot of people saw that, but we have this great teaching tool there now where we can know what happened, look at what was on videotape and the context around it, and have a better understanding of why that all went down. And in doing so, hopefully a better understanding of ourselves or people around us, or compassion towards ourselves and or people around us. So,
I do want to say congratulations about that 5 million views thing. Everybody in chat, you guys, round of applause.
Woohoo! I was like, holy shit, I had no idea it was close to 5 million views.
I think we made great star and co-star.
What's that? Oh yeah, yay!
Co-stars.
Yes.
We need a me and a he.
Yes.
Can I say something about lupus really quick? And that is, when you look at lupus and you look at things that are wrong, you're going to see joint diseases, you're going to see sun sensitivities. Not all of these in every woman, but you have to meet a criteria of at least 10 of them. You're going to see malar rashes. You're going to see women with such fatigue that they cannot keep a home like the one she had clean in that condition. You're going to find women who do not move well. They're suffering. They're hurting. Their joints are being affected. Their organs are being affected. Their eyes can be affected. Many things are going to become obvious to the public that you're having a problem. Now, like you, it will come and go. You'll flare. It'll pull back. It will flare. For me, I'm in a constant. But you're going to change in how you look. There are going to be things that don't look as pretty as they used to. At one time, I was gorgeous, to be quite frank with you, and not being ashamed of that. I was a very beautiful woman, and I'm no longer that beautiful woman because I have this rash on my face. I have different things and I have arthritis, and things hurt when I move, and I'm on chemo. And, you know, when you're on chemo, you're in bed, you're throwing up all the time. It just doesn't look good. And the Shanann Watts that we see is not the typical lupus patient to the degree at which she announced herself to the Lindstroms. They said that she said she was extremely sick. She had lupus very badly. The way that she portrayed herself is not the reality of what she was.
No, it's not. It's not at all. So, and we can definitely talk about that. We can put out more content about it. But actually, we have to move away. We have to move away from Shanann Watts, because people are getting emails about it now, right? We speak. I'll tell you about it later. Send them to you. They're kind of funny. But I just want to wrap up with the University of Iowa case. What? My freaking AirPods are talking to me. Stop talking to me, AirPods. You're right in my ear. Stop that. Wait, hold. I saw some comments about University of Idaho. Okay, no more chat about Shanann. We created a monster. As soon as I start talking about Shanann, it's like, oh crap. Hold on, I gotta change my listening input output again. Just one sec.
Well, we didn't say anything bad.
We didn't say anything bad, but no, I didn't say that we say anything bad. But here's one thing I need to do as a channel creator. When I'm doing like content on other cases, I need to, I so easily start talking about Watts. I need to stop doing that because it's just, I just don't want to do it. And I don't want
to trying to move away from Watts a bit?
No, I'm not trying to move away from Watts, but okay. I have to be aware of things like how YouTube responds to what I say and whether they start, like nicking at my channel. I have to respond to when we start talking about Watts, no matter what the topic is, the numbers of people watching, the replay and the live plummet. You know what I mean? I have to pay attention to those things.
I gotcha.
I want to keep my, I put so much energy into this and love into this, and so do you guys. So I need to take care of the health of my channel. So one of the ways to do that, it's very clear in the analytics, is can't talk about Watts with alongside everything else every day all the time. I just can't do it. So I have to be better about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I gotcha.
What were you gonna say? Allegedly?
Oh, nothing. You guys went on with Watts, so I just, started reading chat.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I just figured we had just cut you off because we keep doing that. That's like the norm. So I just thought I would cover my bases and ask. Oh, what were you saying again? Allegedly, Oh goodness gracious. Okay, so I just want to quickly look at which one do I want to look at actually. You know what I want to do actually? I want to watch and I'm just about to upload this too as a standalone upload on the channel. The interview from this morning, it's Tuesday morning now. Monday morning, yesterday morning, November 29th from New York. It was the first sit down interview with a reporter and Kaylee's father. So I want to watch that. It's obviously the most recent. So we also just watched, if you were here with us live or in the replay, we watched the video the day before that one on the 27th. So this next video is it's 2 days before, is the morning of the 29th. So let's see how Steve Concalves evolves over 48 hours. Remembering that he is, yes, a very emotional person who just lost a part of himself in a very, very horrific way. Oh my God, terrible.
Can I tell Esther thank you?
Sure.
Esther, thank you. She says you were awesome on panel tonight. Enjoyed listening to you and your point of view on panel. My point of view is always, I always want to support Kelly in what she's doing. I believe in what she's doing. And I think that the different points of view were a representation of the rest of the world and how everyone else is thinking. And same with having Allegedly up here with us and anybody who comes up. Thank you for the comment, and off you go, Kelly. Go ahead, play.
I'm just sad that I missed 2 lives. So I'm back on track now.
Cool. Yay. Yeah. Back. I know. I missed you. I figured
it was the notification button. I didn't know what was going on until I saw you put up this live 3 days ago or 2 days ago. Right. And then I was like, what's going on? And the notification bell.
Well, I don't always send out the email either. That's true. Because I'll try to, I'll put you on my email list that announces live streams. Oh, if anyone is here and if you're watching in chat or the replay, if you'd like to be put on the email list, I try to put out an email when I'm going to do live streams, because I'm sorry, YouTube, but you suck with notifications. There you go. Please email me at wattsobsession@gmail.com, and I will add you to that list, so we don't even have to worry about YouTube's crappy notification system.
Yeah, and double check your notifications, because mine was turned off for like 3 different channels. This one plus like 2 preview stations.
Which channels were they? I'm curious.
Salem's Cellar was one. She's great, by the way, everybody. She does previews. Salem's Cellar.
Okay.
She previews future up and coming horror movies, and another channel, Halloween something. I can't remember the full name, but they're a newer channel.
Huh, weird, because some other people were observing that the few channels they got unsubscribed from had a certain commonalities that maybe were being shadow banned. I don't know. So
Maybe. It's just it was your channel, but don't forget, I did mention that I've left a whole bunch of other channels like myself. So
right,
if
yeah.
the notifications were on, I wouldn't know.
Right. Okay. All right. I was just trying to little information gathering so I can, do whatever. I can't say anything that's in my head right now because YouTube will really hate me. So. All right, hold on. I've got to find this interview. Sorry. It's right around the corner here. I just don't know which one it was. Which one were you? Maybe this one. Not that one either. I think. Maybe it is. Yeah, this is it. It's got to be it. Yep. Okay, yeah. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry, guys. You know what? I'm just going to pull it up on ABC site. I don't need to use my video. Okay. So, again, this is the first sit-down interview with Kaylee's father, meaning where he was sitting down in a room live with an interviewer. The other ones were done by like video or over the phone. So you can imagine that there is like a different element when you're sitting down with somebody who's asking you the questions. So let's see if that caused Steve to cool his jets a little bit. I wonder. Sorry, I'm typing. I can't multitask. Here we are. Okay. Are you ready? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right.
I want the
I
rabbit.
never heard you two be so silent for so long. That was eerie.
I'm hoping one day the rabbits start talking so that we can hear them.
Oh, they do talk all the time. You guys don't hear them?
No, but they're beautiful to look at.
I was just acting like a crazy person. Was I good at it?
No, there's nothing creepy about you. Sorry, sweetie.
No, crazy.
Oh.
Okay, maybe a little. All right, here we go. Yep, here it is. Okay. Yep. This is it. Okay. Wait a minute, isn't this the same shit I was just watching and it wasn't it though? Hold it. What? Oh no, okay, this is I don't know. They're using the same intro. All right. Oops. Volume.
Gonzalez's father.
Beginning. Okay.
Idaho student.
Big.
Sifting through hundreds of tips, thousands of pieces of
Volume.
evidence. Arcana Whitworth has been on this story for us. Spoke with the father now of one of the victims. Kane, good morning.
Hey, TJ, good morning. Kaylee Gonzalez's father told me they moved to this region of Idaho because it was safe. There had not been a homicide in Moscow in 7 years. And now this morning he tells me the only thing worse than losing his daughter, her best friend, and 2 others is not knowing why or who is responsible.
This morning, students on edge at the University of Idaho as the search for the killer in that brutal quadruple homicide enters its 3rd week.
It is disconcerting that there is somebody out there who's done such a horrible thing and they haven't been caught.
The school posting this notice on social media Monday, writing increased security will be on site for the remainder of the semester. Steve Gonzalez, the father of one of the victims, 21-year-old Kaylee, now shedding new light on what happened that night in his first sit-down interview.
It was fast, and nobody suffered, and nobody felt like that kind of pain.
2 other roommates survived on the ground floor, waking up several hours later, calling friends over when their roommates were unresponsive.
Do you know the reason why the initial concern was that a roommate was passed out?
I know the girls reached out via texting and calling. So I can only assume that by the phones being ignored, knowing how my daughter is not going to ignore calls and texting.
Officials maintain the murders happened between 3 and 4 a.m. and that the first 911 call was made around noon. Just hours later, Steve was informed of his daughter's death, not by police, but by family members on campus.
Let's call Maddie. And then you realize Maddie's gone too.
Madison Mogan was Kaylee's lifelong best friend. The pair seen together in their final hours of life, laughing and ordering late-night food before getting a ride home together in what Steve described as a sorority-designated driver service.
You can't imagine sending your girl to college and then they come back in an urn.
And now, the families of the victims growing frustrated by the lack of answers.
I haven't earned the ability to grieve the way that I want to grieve. I want to be able to have justice first.
Now, Steve says that he does plan to speak at the candlelight vigil tomorrow. He went on to say he doesn't want the city of Moscow to fall apart over this. And TJ, in a show of solidarity, that candlelight vigil will be held in various locations across this entire state.
All right, Kana, we thank you so much. And I want to bring in now ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett. The family's looking for answers, some details as they continue to trickle out, some of the new details we're hearing. What stands out to you?
So you have 4 people killed on 2 different floors of a house, which would certainly suggest, TJ, that somebody at least knew the basic layout of the house. Think about how long it would take to go from victim to victim, so somebody had patience. The police have described a combat-type knife. So the person apparently went there to really do what they ended up doing. So once you've eliminated, I assume this has happened, sort of the immediate circle, college students that are around these kids, people that may have threatened one of them, stalked them, whatever. I'm not hearing anything that supports a killer in that group. So what do you have to do if there's not an immediate connection?
You have to go to sort of a wider circle. You would look at, for example, maybe or maybe not somebody older. I only suggest that because this crime appears to be very focused, and the person had a comfort level
in the house.
And you start looking at sort of relationships that really aren't tight with these kids. Somebody they've met occasionally, somebody that may have come to the house to attend a party. Apparently this was a big party house. And so that makes it more difficult. Less connections makes it more difficult many times to solve a crime. And you're also going to have to look, and the police have already talked about this, of similar type crimes in other parts of the country, in particular in the Northwest, which they're saying initially there is no connection, and it may not be. But you're really going to have to look at this bigger circle that I'm suggesting.
Well, the wider circle, somebody that knew the layout, some of those details, but what type of person, and somebody could argue, what kind of monster are they looking for?
So if somebody that's done this before, I mean, TJ, people who do this kind of stuff get a big thrill out of doing it. Now, we don't know if it's that type of person, but that it could be something like that. The idea that you killed 4 people just tells me that
this was driven by something you intrinsically wanted to do, less so than maybe one student mad at another student.
You can only imagine the fear in that community, knowing that person is still out there. Brett Gary, we appreciate you as always.
Yeah.
So the killings of those 4 University of Idaho students, police now sifting through hundreds of tips, thousands of pieces of evidence. Arkana Whitworth has been on this story for us. Spoke with the father now of one of the victims.
So that's that. That's what he seemed definitely more subdued today. Maybe it was being live with an interviewer. Maybe it's just the roller coaster of emotions and freaking nightmarish horror he's going through at times, thinking about, what happened to his daughters. So, yeah. So it is 1:00. I got to go to bed, guys. I got to work soon. I got to work in the morning. It's coming right up. But thank you guys so much for being on panel. I really appreciate you guys. Yarn and Mittens. And allegedly, you guys were the
Thank you for having me. I will drop off now into chat.
Awesome. Bye, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yarn
for
and
having me,
Mittens.
dear.
Of course, always. You
It's
guys are
always,
wonderful. Love having you
you
up.
feel more like a sister to me than
Yes, yes. Yes,
co-sisters suffering from the same disease.
yes, that's
Does
right.
a lot to bring you closer.
So when we bicker, y'all, you just got to understand we're sisters.
And we're both Yankees.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I am appreciating that too.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to jump down.
Yeah, awesome. All right, bye, sweetie. Have a good night. We'll talk tomorrow morning, okay? Or tomorrow sometime, okay?
All right, sweetie. Talk to you later.
Let's see. So, yeah, Anaphylaxis is saying Ethan looked like a big guy. He was, by all reports, I had like his height and weight and everything. I can't remember what it was, but he apparently was an excellent athlete. He played sports year round and was very good and excelled in all of them. So yeah. Let's see. Downtown Wonder, the tragedy. Oh. Downtown Wonder, I didn't know you had a channel. I can help you. We'll help you with that. I'll help you with that. Why don't you put your channel link in chat? Next time though, put it earlier on in chat. At some point I asked for people to refrain from putting channel links up all the time. And that wasn't because I didn't want people to share their channel. It's not it at all. It was that when I went back and watched replays with a live chat, sometimes it was like every third comment was somebody with a channel link. And I want to let people definitely do that and trying to figure out other ways to help share other creators' channels to get them some, more eyes on their awesome content because people want to see it. But Downtown Wonder, next time you're in a live stream, we'll just have someone in charge of just putting your channel link out there, okay? Let's see. Yeah, so first floor was the two roommates, Dylan and Bethany, who survived. Second floor was Xana's bedroom. And it was kind of like on the yeah. I'll show you the floor plans. I don't want to try to explain it just verbally because I don't have them ready to pull up right now. I don't have them labeled with the roommates locations. And then Kaylee and Maddie were on the third floor. I think that's pretty firm. I saw some people going back and forth about that in chat. I don't know what exactly the conversation with, but I think just as I explained it right now, it's pretty firm. Hey, allegedly, could you please put your channel link here in chat? I don't know why. I always have trouble linking to it. So I'm going to save it and figure out why. And also because other people were asking about your channel, that'd be great. Well, let's see. So let's see. Downtown Wonder says, and I'm not sure what you're saying. I don't know I don't have the context for this. I didn't see the previous messages that this is kind of responding to. Says that interviewer is the reason why things get so messed up. She says 2 roommates survived. To me, that means, they got stabbed too, but they have lived. So I don't think the interviewer screwed up there. In my opinion, my understanding of it is, just saying the roommates survived the attack. And I believe that's a language that will be used if, somebody was on the scene of a crime as they were, but they were not murdered if the others were. So to me, I think that's consistent with how I'd expect it to sound. I just happened to see your comment I was looking at because I was looking for your channel. So I didn't mean to pull it up to disagree with you, but that's okay to disagree. Hi, Tracy Wheeler. How you doing? Hi, Jan. How's it going? Hi, Trinity. Welcome, 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 guys. We've been here for a while. I haven't been looking too much at chat, so that's why I haven't said hello yet. Yes, always lock your doors, says Anaphylaxis. Yes, do always lock your doors. Yes, yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Trinity, that's what I was saying earlier, was that they may have saved their own lives. Trinity says, it might just be possible that the two survivors made it because it is said that they heard a noise and then they got up and they locked their doors. Yeah, like that was such a smart thing to. I'm so glad. Thank God they did that. He could have gone by their doors, found out they were locked. Didn't want to spend that much time getting through the lock that somebody might come in and, game over for him then, right? So, oh God, so disgusting. What a sick human being. Oh, gross. This case is so upsetting. Oh. So, all right. Well, thank you guys also very much for being here this evening. And as I said, you're Mittens and Allegedly. Always love having on panel. They're awesome. Thank you guys. In chat, you guys always contribute so much insight, and I just love reading the chat too. Some funny stuff too. And moderators, you did bomb. Thank you guys so very much. And I was saying in the beginning of this live stream that I'm going to start doing. I often do Friday night live streams. I used to do them regularly, like every Friday night. That was the deal. Like that's just when you would know I would have a live stream every week. So I'm going to start doing that again because I like that. And I don't want you guys to have anything else to do on Friday. I want you to be all mine, and I want you to be here. I'm just kidding. But I'd love for you to be here if you can. So it'll be at 9 or 9:30 this Friday. I still am not decided what the topic's going to be. I really want to talk a little bit about different cases, but there's still so much to talk about in the University of Idaho case. I couldn't cover it all in 10 live streams. So, but that will be determined very soon. If you have any requests or suggestions, just let me know. Good night, dear Butterfly. I know everybody check out Butterfly McCoy's channel. Can I play oh wait, I didn't get an answer from you on that. Would it be okay to play your video, Butterfly McCoy? And if you already answered, I'm sorry. I was looking for the response for a little bit, and then we started talking. Thanks, guys. Oh, can I play it now? Yeah, Butterfly McCoy has this really great video. You guys are going to like it. Stick around. It's a tribute to the people and creators who are committed to the Kylie Rodney case. And I have more Kylie Rodney content to put out too. Okay, awesome. Thank you. And we can talk to Butterfly McCoy. I'll email you. I was going to send you an email soon anyway, tell you I was listening to your music all day the other day. It was wonderful. Yeah. So she made this as like a tribute video, and I just think it's awesome. It made me cry. So let's watch. It's so beautiful. Well, and powerful. You'll see. You'll see. And you can make your own opinion about it, because I'm staying away from telling people what to think. Not that I ever did, but I never want to do that. All right. So go check out Butterfly McCoy, subscribe, do all the things we do to be part of a community. Okay. Pause. All right. Whoops. It keeps wanting to start without me. Don't start without me, please. Okay, let me bring it to the stream. So this is Butterfly McCoy's video that it's just awesome. And there's the song is originally written, composed, and recorded by Butterfly McCoy. Is that the right way of saying that? I'm sure you word it the right way in the video. I think you do here. Very cool. There's my StreamYard stream. Jeez. My StreamYard, I don't know, something is very strange is going on today. StreamYard, I guess. I don't know. I'll tell you more about it when I understand myself. But for now, everyone enjoy Butterfly McCoy's really awesome video. It's called Dear True Crime Community. Is there more to that title? I don't think there is. Okay, cool. And let's hear it, see it, watch it, enjoy.
And welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Jessica Kay. Today we continue to look at the case of 16-year-old Kylie Rodney, a missing person who was last seen at the Prosser family campground. Allegedly, I still speculate this is a second location. So she was last seen on the 6th of August 2022 at around 12:30 a.m. in Truckee, California. 16 years old, 5'7", blonde hair, hazel eyes, 118 pounds, driving a silver 2013 Honda CR-V, and her vehicle is also missing.
Figure this out. Breaking news.
Found!
Oh
my God! Here, let me share my screen.
Right.
It's true. It is. It's true.
Oh my god.
Oh
This is
my
so sad.
God.
You guys are praying for her family.
So she was in the water. Oh my God. Okay, car is upside down. Only 14 feet of water. We have confirmed Kylie's inside. Only a few yards from the campground.
Yep.
Oh.
Let's put a prayer out for Kylie and for Kylie's family, please, right now. There's over 1,000 people in chat as a collective, whatever you believe in. Ryan, do you want to lead us in a quick prayer? Oh my God.
Yeah. May we pray for Kylie, Kylie's family, Kylie's friends, and I want to say that nobody should really be doing anything about this now. There really shouldn't be anything put anywhere that's going to make our mom even more devastated than she's already going to be. I hope everybody can heal from this, and I hope everybody can watch the community of Truckee and be a little bit more careful and be aware of your surroundings so this don't happen to anybody else, and know that mom wants to go to sleep with their daughter not in the house with them.
Hey everybody, so until we figure out what actually happened or until we hear any facts of the case, let's just talk about the people that failed Kylie. Her so-called friends failed her that night when nobody had her back. Nobody was there for her. Not one person in that community was willing to stand up for Kylie. Her mother failed her when she decided to go back to bed that night and not call the cops or find out what happened to her. Her mother failed her when she was defending the teens and not standing up for her daughter. Her mother failed her again when she told everybody on social media to stop worrying about the case and to just drop it. The local cops failed Kylie when they didn't immediately take the teens who were last known to see her in for questioning. We are trying to stand up for her and figure out what happened to her. We have her back. And that's just the way that I see it.
Hey guys, it's Squirrel Girl, and I just got some great news. We had approval from the National Forest Parks Division at Prosser to purchase a bench from their approved vendor and have it installed near the reservoir. So I am very, very excited about that.
Hey Casey!
Okay.
What do you think about the fire camera? Well, I'll tell you what. Headlights. Watch this side. You see? I think this vehicle turned around, not landed in the water.
Hello, true crime family. What's wrong with this area? You know, all of these adults contributing to the delinquency of minors. I mean, what do? Do you just free range your kids? Like the chickens that my daughter has, she lets them free range. Is that what you do with your children? This was a school night. This was a Wednesday night. Why weren't they going to school? Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Good afternoon, Justice Warriors. In my opinion, it just couldn't be worse right now than looking at the Kylie Rodney situation and what is going on. Trinity Backus, Paisley, McConan, Woodard. What is going on, people? What's going on with the law enforcement out there that's not enforcing any laws whatsoever?
As we've been following the search for Kylie Rodney and then the investigation into Kylie Rodney's death, Truckee, California, has become a critical part of the entire story. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to What's the Obsession live stream and discussion. And I'm so grateful to all of you who are still on that mission to help ensure complete justice for
Kylie has already been cremated, and there will be no official funeral, according to a family source. For me, I can understand that. I looked at Kylie's celebration of life as being her funeral.
More than ever, this girl needs us. She needs people who will not just accept the narrative that we are fed. Because something stinks in this case, whether you want to admit it and accept it or not. This case has got elements to it that reek of an injustice.
Have you ever gone to bed and you can't sleep because your mind is racing and you just can't stop
You're so
thinking
cute,
about
Butterfly
something?
McCoy.
The idea that the airbags never deployed and there was no front bumper damage. That's really weird considering that video showed us how fast the car just drove straight into the lake.
Sometimes it's better to let sleeping dogs lie. Just because they don't bark, don't mean they won't bite. No matter how hard you want to fight, everywhere you turn, I walk. But for now, just take that far. If you have to cry, just cry. There'll come a day when you'll have your way. You'll get your say. Don't run away. There'll come a day when you'll have your way. You'll get your say. It's worth the
Today is going to be the first video in the series that I promised you guys. And I've been advised by people who know what's going on that I need to really be careful. When I say that I'm sticking my neck out, that's not just a cliche. I'm not saying I'm some brave hero or anything like that. Somebody has to bring this stuff to light.
Yay! So that was a video that Butterfly McCoy put together. I thought it was just really awesome. If you didn't get the full impact of it, or we're in chat, put it on like your big TV sometime and turn off lights and watch it. I think it's a really powerful thing. So thank you. Whoops. Thank you so much, Butterfly McCoy, for being awesome and making that video, making beautiful music. You're very, very talented. Okay. So, justice for everyone who deserves justice. I just, time and time again, am so, I don't know, just really confused about some of these investigations, and not that I know everything about conducting a good investigation, because I do not, but there are some things that have happened in too many investigations that make you really happy that those people are not investigating the murder of someone who's near and dear to your heart, So thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Love y'all, and be safe until next time. Oh, Friday night, 9 or 9:30. Don't know yet. don't know the topic yet, but I do know there's going to be an awesome live stream chat and discussion right here on Watch the Obsession. So I hope you can make it. If you want to be added to the notification email, if YouTube is failing you like it is so many other people, not sending out notifications to you, you can email me at watsobsession@gmail.com. Just tell me that you want me to put you on the list, and I will happily do that for you. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care. Love you guys too. Call me tomorrow, Yarn and Mittens. See, I'm going to get out of work at like 3 tomorrow. I'm not staying late. I stay late usually. I'm just not going to do it tomorrow. It's hump day. Bye, guys.